It all began 40 years ago. The best from the North lining up against the best from the South. Today, this classic matchup enters its 5th decade. It's the 40th annual North-South All-Star High School football game. Yes, they are playing it for a 40th time, but only the 2nd time here at Myrtle Beach Memorial Stadium. And it has really become quite an extravaganza. Hi, everybody. Jim Phillips along with Roman Gabriel, and we'll be bringing you this football game this afternoon. One, Roman, that I think is going to be wide open and lots of fun.
I'll tell you what, Jim, if these players have as much fun in this ball game as they've had the last week here, we're in for some entertainment.
When I talked about extravaganza, that's exactly what I meant. These kids have been treated to the finest here at Myrtle Beach. They have enjoyed each and every day that they've been here. They'll talk about it for a long, long time. On the sidelines with us this afternoon, Chris William, and he'll report as to what's happening there. Chris?
Jim, Roman, you thought you had a good upstairs. It's an excellent day for the 40th North-South football game. We have, I don't think I have to interview this gentleman, Santa Claus, down on the sidelines with a Santa. A good game. Are you expecting a very good turnout, very good crowd response?
Oh, yes. Yes, Christopher. Have you been a good boy this year?
Yes, I have. Just don't try to get me on your knee. Guys, it's going to be a good, it's going to be a good game today. Merry Christmas. Let's go back up to Jim and Roman.
Okay, Chris, tell you what, you got some good gifts for us. Right now on the field, 12 bands gathered, and now our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the colors are presented by the Myrtle Beach AFA's Color Guard. Would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem by the 13 high school bands here today. Directed by Lucius Campbell, Socastee High School Band Director. Our national anthem.
Well, that's it. The playing of our national anthem, and beautiful out there on the field on a day that sees the sun shining brightly here at Myrtle Beach. Chamber of Commerce has once again done an outstanding job. And there you see the North squad poised and now making their way onto the field. The North All-Stars have not tasted defeat in this game since back in 1980. And they would like to keep it in line. Here's Joe Turbeville, North All-Star coach from Irmo High School. He's prepared this team diligently throughout the course of the week. And now from the opposite end, the South Stars about to make their entry. Nice looking banner that they have prepared for them there, Roman.
Sure is, Jim.
Whoops. South Stars making their way out now. The coaching staff following in. There'll be excitement here this afternoon without question. This North-South game has become quite a tradition throughout the state of South Carolina. And as we said earlier, since it's come to Myrtle Beach, it has become an extravaganza that everyone is very pleased with and looks to seeing every year. Jeff McMurdy had an opportunity to talk with head coaches yesterday, and he talked with Joe Turbeville, the head coach of the North squad. Turbeville had these remarks.
I think so. We'll throw the ball probably a lot more than we normally would in the season. If you get a 1-point lead or a touchdown lead, you know, you're not worried about playoffs next week or advancing in the playoffs. It's just a one game shot, and you'll go out and try to make it as interesting as you possibly can and really have a wide open offense.
I know you have a collection of all-stars, but two of your players, Terry McGowan and Kevin Morgan, who have really impressive statistics on the year, may not be available with sprained ankles. How much does that hurt? You got people to fill in?
Well, we just don't have as much depth. We have very capable people ready to play, but just won't be able to substitute as much without those two players. But we have other people who are very capable.
Roman, what do you expect out of this game this afternoon?
Well, Jim, to tell you the truth, I know Coach Tuberville with the North is concerned about two players that are out of the game, Morgan and McGowan, but he's going to run the I formation, also a single back formation, throw the ball, reverses, everything you can think of, whereas Coach Hall with the South team, he's coming in with the I formation, but his baby is the wing T, and I think we're going to see a lot of excitement, the ball in the air, reverses and everything. It should be very exciting.
Sounds like fun to me. Jeff McMurdy talking with Giles Hall from Walterboro, South coach. Here's what he has to say about this game this afternoon.
We brought some people in that could run the wing T, plus we got some good wide receivers, so we want to put up a good running game and a good passing game. We just want to make it a total package.
On defense last year, the South team last year had some problems with defensive lineups last year. This year, I understand both defenses are going to run. Both teams are going to run the 50 defense this year.
Basic 50 defense without any stunt linebackers. I think the stunt linebackers what created the problems last year.
All week long, I know you've been answering this question. People have been talking about the fact that the South hasn't won, and I think but one time in the last decade. Have you used it to your advantage this week?
I don't know. The kids have been pretty subdued. They haven't been very rowdy, so I think it's on their mind. I think they really want to turn it around and have the South win one.
These coaches, these players, they have prepared hard all week. They are very interested in winning this game. And when we come back, we'll have it all. Right now, we pause for these network commercials.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Santa, can you bring me a zebra? I wish I could have a pony. I would like to fly. I wish that I could be a star in the sky. For everybody to be nice and be friends and never fight each other.
Season's greetings from your local bottler of Coca-Cola.
See First Restaurants, your first choice for quality dining on the Grand Strand. The Gulfstream Cafe is famous for fresh and delicious seafood served the way you want it. Located in the community of Garden City, the Chesapeake House in North Myrtle Beach is a perfect location for a seafood feast. Chestnut Hill, also in North Myrtle Beach, offers the best in gourmet specialties, serving lunch and dinner. For the best in quality Grand Strand dining, see us first. We're Sea First.
And now, another Carolina Ford #1 year-end clearance update.
More great news. Your Carolina Ford dealers are dealing on America's #1 sellers. Get $400 cash back on America's #1 selling car, Ford Escort, or $600 cash back on America's #1 selling midsize car, Ford Taurus, and specialty car, Ford Thunderbird. Then make no payments until April if you buy any new Ford by December 31st at your Carolina Ford dealer.
The 40th annual North-South All-Star Game is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Catch the Wave, by Sea First Restaurants, See Us First, We're Sea First, by your local Carolina Ford dealer, see him during his year-end clearance sale going on now, by GTE, the Smart Business Call, and by McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. Well, the weather this afternoon is very, very nice for football. There's no question about it. Temperature at kickoff, 62 degrees. The humidity, 60%. Partly cloudy skies. We've got those clouds above and a possibility perhaps of some rain later on this afternoon. Teams are aligned. The South squad will be kicking off to the north. North winning the toss here today and electing to receive. Doug Campbell will be kicking off, and receiving will be Anthony Williams for the North squad, standing back just in front of the goal line. So, Roman, we're set for football.
I'll tell you what, Jim, the South, not having won since 1980, can set the tempo on this kickoff, get down, put the North in a hole, make a big tackle, big play here.
That is a short kick that's grabbed by Kevin Acker, the up back, who's up over the 15, hits the sidelines, and is bumped out of bounds across the way at about the 27, a 23-yard return by Acker. And the North will have good field position to begin this football game.
In this ball game, both teams are allowed to use 3 formations. Each team can select which 3 they want. The North will use a single back, also the I formation. And on this first play, let's see what Coach Tuberville is going to do, but believe he's going to go deep with the pass to open it up.
Well, they've got a slot to the left side and a single running back as Irby, the quarterback, moves up under center. And dropping to throw on first down. Looking deep down that right side, has a receiver wide open out there. That's Stevens. And he is out of bounds inside the 35-yard line at the 32. No coverage on him, Roman.
Number 50, Tom Rhodes, who is the left cornerback. Let's take a look now as Stevens comes by. There's Rhodes. He's expecting help on his own, but nobody's there. The safety doesn't get over. That's a good thing that Stevens ran out of bounds here, because that would have been a touchdown. First play of the game. We might see now the quarterback draw. Archie Irby is a good runner as well as a passer.
That play was good for 46 yards. Irby again with a lone setback. Whoops, we've got motion out there. That will disrupt the momentum a little bit.
That's one of the problems you have, Jim, in these all-star games. You don't have a lot of time to put your plan together, and you spend so much time on getting the plays in that so often you forget about the snap count.
Stephen Gioli, left guard, jumped on that play. So that will move it back out to the 37-yard line, where it is first down and 15.
We used to call this formation a deuce formation, 2 wideouts to the weak side, and then you had a tight end and a flanker set into the sideline, as you see here from right to left, and a single back.
So Irby has Acker set in behind him. Slot to the left side. Now the quarterback draw. Irby keeping up over the 30 and fights his way into the 26-yard line before he is knocked down. 5 to 6 yard pickup on the play.
Tackle made by Bonds.
Here's the lineup in the backfield for the North. Irby at quarterback, Acker the fullback, Williams at tailback. Wingback is Stevens, split end Gardner, and the tight end is Van Nort. Tackle to tackle, Jackson, Wilding, Talent, Gioli, and Peak. These are huge offensive lines on both teams.
Both teams have giants at right tackle. The North has number 52, a fellow named David Britt Jackson. You might as well call him King Kong. He's 6'6", 300 pounds.
All right, again, it's Acker who is the lone setback. Irby again moves up under. Dropping to throw. Firing over the middle. Completes this one to Acker. He'll cross the 25 and get back to about the 22-yard line. Kevin Little, linebacker, came across.
Acker stopped by number 65, Kevin Little.
Defense for the South.
Third down, 1.
Green and Campbell the ends. Presley McNeil the tackles. The nose guard, Robert Walker. The backers are Little and Bonds. And in the secondary, Rodney Cook, Dexter Davis, Reggie Alston, and Tony Rhodes.
That's Coach Tuberville, who came into this ball game prepared to run exactly what he wanted to, open it up. He's done that.
High formation. They give to Acker. Nothing there. He's going to be knocked down by Bobby Presley. Presley had a total of 52 solo tackles and 141 assists and 21 sacks for Georgetown High School.
That's enough sacks for 3 defensive linemen. And on that group, the South team, they have over 30 collectively, Presley, Walker, and Tim McNeil. So they should be able to rush the passer if Irby decides to hold the ball too long back there.
First and 10 again, Acker the lone setback. And Irby back to throw. Now going to run out of there as he's crushed in the pocket, being chased. He'll get back across the 20 and down the sidelines, and finally bumped out of bounds at the 14-yard line again by Kevin Little. So Archie Irby out of Burns High School getting the job done here.
It's play action now, the single back. They fake the draw. Irby looking downfield, well covered by the South secondary. Irby, who can run well, runs a 4.640. There's Presley applying pressure, not able to catch him. Campbell, the linebacker, 51, comes up, and finally he's knocked out of bounds. I mean, he's really knocked out of bounds right there. Look at this fella, Burns High School, Spartanburg. Boy, can he move the football.
Stevens is out wide to the right side, top of the screen. And Irby this time, here's to Acker. And the big back fights his way for a few yards as he gets in near the 11-yard line. Little and Bonds, Gareth Bonds, another outstanding linebacker out of Georgetown.
They have a pretty good package out of the one back, able to utilize the run as well as the pass to try to keep the South defense honest, and it takes good people up front to do that. 75, the left guard, Stephen Gioli, was the fella pulling. He bench presses 341 pounds, and also very smart, Jim. He has an SAT of 1380, which means that he could go to most any school he wants to.
Curtis Cheeks of Lexington has checked in. He'll go wide to the right side, the top of the screen. And Stevens will slot inside of him. They work in the I formation. And a flag down. Again, I believe we have motion. As Irby just kept it and plunged across the 10 to about the 7. Eric Peak, perhaps the guilty party, making movement out there, the left tackle.
Actually, Jim, Kevin Aker, the fullback, number 22, he was in motion before the ball was snapped. This is something, as we mentioned early, they'll settle down a little bit as the game goes.
That'll set them back to the 16.
Offense, still get a first down.
So it is 1st and 15. They do have room for a first down without scoring. Football game just underway. The North receiving the kickoff, and they have moved deep into South territory. Once again, they'll go wide to the right with Gardner.
And the North in this situation likes the slant pass, 3-step drop.
And that deflected and going to be picked off. Gareth Bonds, the linebacker, picks off the deflected pass, and the South has pulled out of a jam here. They have intercepted. And let's take a look at it.
Single back, 3-step drop, trying to hit the slant on the left side. But as you see there, it's batted up in the air.
Bobby Presley got it.
Bobby Presley, number 71. And there's Gareth Bonds, number 66, who had 192 tackles this year and 3 interceptions. That gives him 4.
So the South taking over the football is at their 16-yard line. As they get ready to possess, there's time out of the field. We'll pause now for these network messages.
Jim Cole knows his business inside out. So when he needed a phone system, he wanted to talk to someone who knew phones just as well. Carrie Hill is such a person. As one of our specially trained salespeople, she has the knowledge to analyze needs, demonstrate products, and recommend the perfect system. We think anyone who runs a small business shouldn't have to run around looking for the right phone. GTE, quality service from quality people.
Okay, everybody, dinner break.
Warm up all your holiday activities with something new. McDonald's Holiday Chicken McNuggets. In festive 9 and 20-piece packs. Tasty chunks of chicken and 2 new sauces. Tangy cranberry with a twist of orange and sweet apple spiced with cinnamon. Better chime in before holiday McNuggets are gone.
The 11:30 remaining first quarter, there is no score. Chris William, however, is on the sideline with some interesting friends.
Thanks, Jim. It's an exciting day, not only up in the booth on the field, but also on the sidelines from Presbyterian College and obviously the Citadel Bulldogs. Your name, sir?
Jeff McIntyre.
Merry Christmas, Jeff. Thanks for coming out. You look good, colorful, Christmassy. We like that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
it. Back up to the booth. Jim and Roman.
All right, Chris, you pick on those redheads.
You think he's Irish?
He missed a good chance to be if he's not, Roman.
Hey, Jim, in this particular situation, Coach Hall mentioned that he might possibly throw the ball on first down, maybe a hitch pattern, 7 yards by the outside receiver and stop.
Massey and Leggett, the running backs, Robinson, the wideout, and Bunch riding it off this time. Not much on the play. Nothing fancy there. Mike Newton coming up to make the tackle.
Might explain that both teams defensively can use the 50 defense, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. The 2 outside backers can red dog or blitz, but the 2 inside backers cannot come. They have to stay back and wait for the play to develop before they decide what they do.
All right, here is Jones as a wing on the right side now. And this time back to throw his bunch. Quick toss, and he's got a man wide open. That's Massey, who is up over the 35, out to the 40-yard line before he's knocked down by Chris Brooks, the left cornerback. A 22-yard pickup.
The wing
opportunity
T,
to see it.
Jim, sorry, the wing T has 2 backs. As you see here, there's a scissors by the fullback and halfback. Deception out of that wing T. The fullback comes out through the line of scrimmage, and you generally don't see that. And that's a fine catch there by Tony Massey. Good throw by Matt Bunch.
Well, we expected wide open action, and we're seeing it here this afternoon. Once again, they work with that wing to the left side. And Bunch this time giving it off quickly. That is Bobby Brown. Not much there. Brown raced for 2,070 yards this year, 6.7 yards per carry. Let's take a look at that South offense now. Quarterback Matt Bunch, Tony Massey, Bobby Brown, Billy Martin the back, Stacy Robinson, Rich Cosby the outs. Simmons, Maycock, Wheeler, Barker, and Shorty. Tackle. And out they come again. Wing to the top of the screen. Bunch. Taking out. Back to throw. Out of play action. Going to the near side. And incomplete. Intended that time for Robinson. It was Corey Downs, the right cornerback, who came up and gave him a pretty good lick. But the ball a little overthrown.
Ball a little overthrown and sometimes off of play action, especially in new formation, all-star game, wing T. Quarterback doesn't set up quickly enough. Robinson was already making the break before the ball actually got there.
North defense, Bonner and Painter the ends. Bright Temples the tackles. Edwards the middle guard. Jones now has moved out to the bottom of the screen. And this time, almost a Statue of Liberty here as Massey gets the football and tries the left side, but the defense reading it well.
That's what they call the old wraparound draw. The North linebackers, Mike Newton and Robert Johnson, but that was the wraparound draw. Quarterback actually bypasses the fullback, then reaches around behind him and sets the ball, which so often causes the linebackers to drop deeper, but the North played it real well.
So now, in pump formation, a high but short kick as Campbell gets a good roll, however, and is going to bounce inside the 25-yard line. And that's where the North will take over. So the North defense stood up stout. That's a 33-yard punt by Campbell. So we're sitting here in the first quarter with no score. The North will take over the football, and we'll return after this word from your local North-South station.
As we enjoy this holiday season, all of us at Bob Bennett Ford want to thank you for letting us serve you. The holidays are a special time for family and friends, and it's a good time for us to renew our commitment to make buying that next car easy for you. No hassles this holiday season. You'll find it at Bob Bennett Ford, the easiest place in the Carolinas to buy your next car or truck.
Bob Bennett Ford, making it affordable.
This is your town. It's got a hold of your smile. Easy, warm, and friendly. Southern style. Carolina.
South Carolina. Good news from your best friend. Carolina's Good Channel. Come home to tell South Carolina. Good news from your best friend. Carolina's Good Channel. Come home to Channel 10.
Winning is a reason to celebrate. Losing, an excuse to forget. No matter how you feel, SAD wants you to live, to experience all the feelings life offers. I'm Willie Nassif of SAD, Students Against Driving Drunk. I care about my friends. I don't drink and drive. In fact, I don't do any illegal drugs. I don't have to.
We're winning the battle against teenage drinking and driving, but we still need your help.
8:59 remains in the first quarter. We have a scoreless football game here at Myrtle Beach Memorial Stadium in this 40th annual North-South All-Star Game. Giles Hall, the South coach, facing the sidelines.
Boy, those coaches really work hard in this game. The South team scrimmaged twice on Monday and Tuesday, whereas the North didn't.
Kirby again with Hacker the setback, and he gives to him over the left side, and he'll work his way forward for about 3 yards.
That kind of play, you need those fellas up front, the guards and the center, Stephen Gioli, Marty Talent, the center, and Tim Wilpin, the right guard. They are man on man. Just find out who's the strongest, hand it to fullback, and see if he can get some yardage.
Second down, about 7 from the 28-yard line. And after the lone set, this time they bring Williams as a slot. And back to throw Irby off the play action. He's being chased, and he's going to be hauled down. Sacked back inside the 20-yard line. Gary Green, the strong end, got to him. A loss of 9 on the play, and here's a look at it.
Out of the single back, fake the draw once again. Now 83, Gary Green shows up on the left side. He's a defensive end or an outside backer. And in this game, the outside backers can't come. Gary Green makes a nice play. Hartsville High School, Hartsville, South Carolina.
Good job, Gary Green. North now working with a deficit after the sack. Again, after the setback. And this time he gets the ball. Fights his way out across the 20, but he is hit hard there by Robert Walker, the nose guard out of Wade Hampton. And there was no one blocking on him that time. He fought off everyone.
Generally, early in a game, that's the kind of play you're going to run. You really don't need to take any big chances on 3rd and long, and the North did the same thing that most coaches would do. Run a draw play, try to get something up the middle.
Corey Downs to punt. Back to receive, Dexter Davis. Lets it hit. Nice bounce to him. Starts left. Going to turn back right. Now in trouble. And loses about 15 yards from where he caught the football as he's knocked down inside the 30 by Travis Bonner. Bonner out of Gaffney High School getting down there. That was good punt coverage.
Tim McNeil for the South team actually really laid a nice block to allow Davis to move around somewhat, even though he didn't get a whole lot of yardage. But it was great coverage, and something that so often in these kind of games you really don't see that kind because they don't have time to work on special teams.
40-yard punt, -7 on the return. So Bunch again, running them out of the eye. Wide out to the top of the screen and the lower part. Quick toss. That's Robinson. Gets up over the 35 and out near the 40s. Knocked out of bounds around the 39-yard line by Chris Brooks out of Carolina High School.
Stop made by Chris Brooks.
We're going to see a lot of Stacy Robinson, number 80, the outside receiver for the South team. Runs a 4.5 40, gained 1,029 yards with those 62 receptions. So we're going to see him go deep here sometime early in this game.
Robinson again to the top of the screen. They'll wing on the right side this time. That's Jones. Split backfield. Bunch. This time on a counter play goes to Alton Davis. And the fullback fights his way forward for a first down out at the 45-yard line.
That was the tight end, number 88, Rich Causey, leading the way for his fullback. Wing T, the flanker lines up next to the tight end, and there's 2 backs in the backfield. There's the play, handoff to the fullback. Rich Causey, the tight end, coming down on the trap. He's out in front. There he is, coming across. But it's difficult to stop. There's so many different guys that can get a hand on that football that it's hard for them to see where it's going to go.
Wing right again. Bunch. Again, they counter, this time to the right side. And carrying was Leggett. He'll get a yard at most. It'll bring about 2nd down and 9 from the 48-yard line.
Jim, a lot of proud parents in the stadium, but before we came up today, I met Matt Bunch's father, and of course Matt was chosen the offensive captain for the South, and he said, "I'm not nervous. I've only been to the restroom to wash my hands 3 times.
Robinson to the top. Jones comes to the bottom of the screen. High formation this time. 2nd down and 9. Bunch back to throw. Has time and finds Robinson into North territory. That play is going to carry into about the 39-yard line, a 14-yard pickup.
Play action, Spring off to the left side. Ball's delivered right on time, because if it's not delivered on time, Chris Brooks, the defensive corner, would have knocked that down or possibly intercepted it. Stacy Robinson showing that he has versatility. Sumter High School in Sumter, South Carolina.
Martin this time is a wing to the top of the screen, and Robinson comes out wide to the bottom. Bunch splits his backs. This time, riding it off to Leggett, trying to turn the left side, but there's just nothing there. The North defense standing up tall. Mike Wigfall out of Batesburg-Leesville making the tackle.
Trap to the left side, Rich Mayock. What a block. That's what you call a pancake or a knockdown, but that was a fine block by the guard, Rich Mayock. Wigfall, the North defensive back, coming up to make the stop. Pretty good play on that young man's part.
Second down. They lose yardage, so it's 12 to go. Robinson to the bottom of the screen, and Jones a wing on the top of the screen. And they run the wing reverse. And Jones just has nowhere to go, as it was read perfectly by the North defense, and they knock him down after he picks up one.
And the guy that stops this is the nose guard, number 70, Alan Edwards, who had 91 tackles throughout the year on this scissors play, faking the two backs, bringing the wing back underneath. Alan Edwards, 6'1", 240, and that's the kind of nose guard you need. Low to the ground, big and strong, and he's able to clog the hole.
Folks in Spartanburg proud of him.
So is his North teammates.
Third down, 11. Bunch again has them in the eye. Throwing down, he's back. Looking, firing, this complete to Robinson. And Robinson with a first down as he is into the 25-yard line, a pickup of 14 on the play.
And Stacy Robinson lined up to the right side. He's downfield, 12-yard out pattern. Ball's right on time as he turns his head. There it is, makes the grab. Robinson showing people that why wasn't he in the Shrine game over there in that other city in North Carolina? Because he looks pretty good to me. What do you think, Jim?
I think he looks outstanding, and he's going to the top of the screen this time, again, wide out. Martin is a wing to the right. They split the backs, Massey and Brown. Bunch on first down. This time rides it off to Martin, and that's the wing counter this time, and it carries inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
That time they doubled up on the big nose guard, Alan Edwards, but they weren't able to block Robin Johnson. Here it is, underneath handoff to the wingback, number 22, Billy Martin, coming off. As you see there, Alan Edwards is handled pretty good, but there's the linebacker, Robin Johnson, making the stop, but not before Billy Martin gets it upfield about 7 to 8 yards. Gilbert High School.
And that wing, in essence, becomes a third running back.
Third running back and also a receiver. Now, one of these times you'll see that wingback come up the middle and go out for a pass.
Jones, the wing, to the bottom of the screen. Bunch this time is back to throw, looking for Robinson on an out pattern. What a catch! There's a flag on the play, but what a catch by Robinson down at about the 12-yard line. Great hands.
Stacy Robinson's the kind of receiver that it's hard to cover one-on-one, and basically that's what the North is trying to do.
Well, they had a lineman get downfield, and that's going to be costly, and bring the play back. Let's take a look at it, though.
There's the scissors fake, behind handoff. Matt Bunch throwing the ball excellently, setting up well. Stacy Robinson goes up like Will Chamberlain used to do when he played with the Lakers, drags it down, but it's too bad. It's nullified, and, well, sometimes the offensive linemen in an all-star game want to catch a pass, too.
You had a few receivers went up like that.
Receiver downfield on the white, lost it down, third down.
You're right, Jim. Sometimes those offensive linemen will see a quarterback in trouble. Of course, Matt Bunch wasn't in trouble there, and they would like to get the ball.
Jesse Dukes has come in. He's to the bottom of the screen. They wing to the top with Martin, and now timeout has been asked by Matt Bunch, as he has seen something in that defense that he really did not like. So he'll talk it over with his coach along the sideline. We'll have more first quarter action coming up after this from your local North-South station.
Here's what people in the Midlands are saying about buying a car from Les Height in Batesburg.
For the last 3 years, we have purchased an Oldsmobile and lately a new truck from Les Height. We really like the service that he gives us.
Thank you very much.
We're the Van Sant family, and over the past several years, we have bought 7 vehicles from Les Height.
The next time you see the Les Height emblem, ask the driver if they like their car and their car dealer. At Les Height, you'll drive a little and save a lot.
It was the curse.
She's an heiress. She's a lover. She's a beauty. What a sight.
You fool.
But the heiress found a dead man in her bedroom late one night. Tales from the dark side.
Saturday night at 1.
Todd Ellis, USC quarterback for junior achievement.
Whether it's striving for excellence on the athletic field, on the job, or in the school, we all need to develop that winning edge. For over 68 years, Junior Achievement has taught students how to attain that winning edge by teaching them the American Free Enterprise System. Programs are offered from elementary level through high school. Show a student how America works. Support Junior Achievement.
In the first quarter, it's still scoreless, and Chris William has a guest on the sideline.
Thank you very much, Jim. Roman, it's exciting. As you can see, Santa's still roaming around the grounds, both sidelines. We have a young gentleman here, and his name is, what is your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, what do you want for Christmas?
Everything I said to him.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Who do you want to win the game? Probably the North. You have that North kind of look. Good. Say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There you go. Back up. Jim, Roman.
Third down and 8. And the South is 1 of 2 on third down conversions. They face a big play here.
Jim, in this particular situation, you'd like to try to get a guy like Robinson possibly over the middle and get the tailback out underneath somewhere so you have a good outlet receiver.
Martin is the wing to the bottom of the screen. Robinson at the top of the screen. Bunch has his split backs and is looking to throw. Hits that back coming out of there. And with the football is Brown. And he is down close to a first down. In fact, I think he has it at the 15-yard line. So that time they used Robinson as a decoy.
And you're right, they ran Robinson deep. They put Brown out in the flat, and that's not such a bad play because this fellow runs 4-5, has good moves. He turns it back inside before the North is able to get across and make that stop. Timmonsville High School, he's set all kind of records this year. And what a running back Brown is.
So they are 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Bunch wings to the bottom of the screen once again. And now rides it off to Brown once more, getting outside. 10, 5, touchdown. That was Leggett. I beg your pardon, Leggett.
Number 62, Rich Mayock coming outside again, the pulling guard. We'll see this. Leggett takes the ball. Fullback came left side to hold the linebackers. Mayock is 62. Another pancake block there as Leggett just uses his speed to get around the corner, score the touchdown.
15 yards. Now the try for the point after. Up. And the kick good as Campbell nails it down the middle. And the South, an underdog, has taken the lead. Here it is again.
There's the fullback to the opposite side to play, which does hold the backers for just a little short time. Leggett coming around the right side, and Mayock, 62, doing a fine job from his pulling guard position.
Well, the South getting in there for the first score of this game this afternoon. And, Roman, you talked to them during the week. They were not intimidated at all by the North. They felt as though the North maybe was a bit cocky coming in.
I agree with you, Jim. And Coach Hall, he was mentioning that these boys were here to try to do the very best they could, so they went at it on Monday and Tuesday, suited up, put the pads on, scrimmaged a little bit. But then again, Coach Tuberville's boys, they can play this game, and the coaching staff there has done an excellent job. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of points scored.
11 plays, 69 yards, 4:59 off the clock. An excellent drive by the South team. Bunch, 6 of 7 for 74 yards. And Robinson has rushed for 80 yards and has receptions of 4 for 42 yards in this game thus far. So now the kickoff by Campbell will be coming as soon as he can get the ball placed properly on the tee. And Anthony Williams will drop back to the 3-yard line to receive for the North squad. Campbell's high kick. Williams at the 4. 20, 25, out over the 30. Good return, but a flag back around the 26 or 7-yard line as Gary Green knocked him down after the return of 34 yards. But let's see what the flag is about. Probably an illegal block out here.
So often happens on these kicks. Yep, you're right, Jim. Hitting below the waist, and you're not able to do that on kickoffs. Well, I guess in height, I know in college you're not able to hit below the waist.
No, I think that's universal.
Okay.
There it is, 11 plays, 69 yards. And a 15-yard run by Leggett for the score. So the North, result of the penalty, is backed up now to their 13-yard line. Irby will come back to throw, rolling to his left. In trouble, fires over the middle, and no more. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Dexter Davis, who had 6 interceptions during the course of the season. Picks off one here, and the South is in outstanding field position once again.
Now, this ball should have never been thrown. Archie Irby sprinting and rolling to the left side. Actually throws the ball down the middle right in the front of Dexter Davis. The ball bounced off of a North player right back into Davis's hands. And this is one of the reasons they say this young fella is such a fine free safety, because he has tremendous concentration on the football.
And Archie Irby, the quarterback, was injured. He was really in a crowd. Davis, you can see, had 47 solo tackles and 27 assists on the regular season. But Irby right now shaking up on the play.
He was smacked pretty good, and hopefully they're taking a look at the right knee, but hopefully it's not a knee, and Mr. Irby will be able to continue playing in this ball game. He's a fine athlete, Jim. He's 1,450 yards passing the football in high school this season, 14 touchdowns, completed 55.4% of his passes. You sure hate to see this happen.
You really do. He's out of Burns High School, but right now they're really working on that right knee of Irby. And you always hate to see those trainers go to the knee, because it's such a weak point in the body, quite frankly.
And those viewers who happen to see those pads around his waist there, so often people don't quite know what those are. I know a lot of you probably do, but those are rib pads that protect the rib cage, and something that's come out in the game for quarterbacks over the last 8-9 years, I would say. Didn't look like that Archie had one of those knee braces that most of the schools utilize now.
You're right. A lot of schools do utilize those knee braces. In fact, you can look out and see other players on the field are wearing them, but it did not look from here that he was wearing one. We certainly hope that it's not a serious injury. A youngster with an opportunity to be in a showcase game here this afternoon. His team trailing in the game. And obviously he was surrounded by South defenders. And again, I think it's only fair to point out that this South squad right now not only has the momentum of getting the first score in the game, but they seem to be playing with a lot more intensity at this particular moment.
It seems, though, at this time, the business attitude that the South coaches and their team took, being maybe possibly a little more serious than the North team, is paying off early in the game. I know the North coaches. There's number 19, Johnny Hill, who is the backup quarterback. He also is a backup defensive back. He's a good young man, good quarterback, strong arm, also can run with the football. But the North's problem now goes a little bit deeper than quarterback, because they have lost their third player this week, including Archie Irby, who's coming off the field. A round of applause.
Doesn't look good, though.
It doesn't look good, Jim. Now that means that Kevin Morgan, who is had a sprained ankle and has a air cast, we don't know whether he's going to play, and Terry McGowan, the running back. So they've lost 3 of their guys, and they're real thin as it is.
South with the football after the interception. Bunch has wing to the right side, and here is that wing counter, a fumble, ball loose, and it looks as though the North may have come up with it. They indeed have. Diving on that loose football, Mike Newton, the linebacker. Well, sometimes you go to the well one time too often.
It's something they had run and had success with, but Alan Edwards, number 70, that big nose tackle, stopped the play again and forced a fumble. It didn't look like the wingback it didn't look like he had the ball even before he got hit. It wasn't a good placement. possibly by the quarterback or mesh to the wing back coming in.
Stevens at the top of the screen. This time, it is Anthony Williams out of Greer High School. Bobby Presley, though, was right there, and he sucks him down after a pickup of about 2 on the play.
The I formation, new quarterback, Johnny Hill on the option, runs it well, pitches it back. Anthony Williams comes in. Got to be careful when you lower that head. That's how so many people hurt their necks, and boy, I hate to see a young kid in high school or at any level lower that neck.
Stevens will go to the top of the screen. This time, they're riding it off over the right side, and pounding out there straight ahead is Corey Patton.
Stop by Kevin Little, number 65, first down, North.
It's a first down for the North squad as the football is up to the 47-yard line.
Just handing it off to the fullback coming off the right side, Tim Wilburn, 225-pound right guard. David Britt Jackson, that 6'6", 300-pound tackle, opening up the hole, and that's probably where the North will run when they need to get that good yardage.
Stevens at the top of the screen, I formation. Again, a big hole. It is Anthony Williams crossing the 50 and moving on into South Territory all the way down to the 38-yard line. That's a pickup of 21 yards on the play.
Actually, Jackson's not in there. It's the center who's moved out to tackle, 61, Marty Talent. He's a jack of all trades, and Anthony Williams finds the big hole right behind the center guard and tackle.
Strong safety, Gerstenberg, had to make the tackle. He's out of Spring Valley. And the first quarter has run down here. It is a football game that finds the South on top by a score of 7-0. And the crowd perhaps a little bit shocked by the fact that the South has taken the lead in this football game this afternoon. Second quarter coming up after these network messages.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Santa, can you bring me a zebra? I wish I could have a pony. I would like to fly. I wish that I could be a star in the sky. For everybody to be nice and be friends and never fight each other.
Season's greetings from your local bottler of Coca-Cola.
Since the first North-South All-Star football game was held 40 years ago, young people across the state have been assisted by scholarship money raised through game receipts. Profits from the game are shared by the South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association Scholarship Fund and by the North-South Educational Fund. The North-South Game Committee Incorporated is a nonprofit corporation headquartered in Myrtle Beach. Thank you, South Carolina, for your support this year. And make plans now to be part of the North-South All-Star excitement in 1988.
See First Restaurants, your first choice for quality dining on the Grand Strand. Drunken Jack's Restaurant in Merle's Inlet is the place for tender and delicious steak and lobster. The Marketplace, also in Merle's Inlet, provides you with catch-of-the-day fresh seafood choices. While the Wayside Restaurant, located in Merle's Inlet, serves some of the most delicious shrimp dinners served anywhere. For the best in quality Grand Strand dining, see us first. We're See First.
Music for today's festivities has been provided by 12 high school bands from South Carolina. They've had their own competition today, and Chris William has the winners.
We're back on the sideline. Again, a great-looking day. I have the band winners. We have 11 bands total out here today. The band winners include in Division A, Socastee High School, Burke High School, Conway High School. Congratulations to those excellent bands. Division B, Ainer High School, Georgetown High School, North Myrtle Beach High School. Isn't that right? Yeah! Great, guys. Let's go back upstairs. Jim and Roman.
You got a lot of noise down there, Chris.
Chris has found him a lot of friends in the stands, which is just fantastic. Now, Jim, in this case, we were told by Coach Farnham of the Carolina High School team, also the North team, that number 11, Mitchell Nicholson's in the slot. We could sometimes see a reverse and a reverse pass here in the game.
Now they're going to go straight up the middle. Patton with the carry gets it into the 30-yard line. And they'll be a couple of yards shy of a first down.
We've got a new center.
Take a look at the first quarter statistics here. The North, 48 yards rushing, 49 passing for 97, 31, 74, 105 for the South. Again, Nicholson, that slot to the top. And they may have set it up this time. Pitch back with the football is Anthony Williams off the pitch from Hill. And the ball loose out there, but I believe they'll rule it dead.
I think we might have our first controversy. It looked as though that might have been a quick whistle. I know as he was going forward, it's just a pitch sweep back to the tight end side. Anthony Williams has the ball picked. There it is. I guess it depends on what the official saw. If the knee was down before the ball actually popped out, but that was still a little questionable.
Well, we don't have all of those cameras the NFL has, so we just have to look at that one angle.
Our people do a decent job, though.
They do a great
job.
Great job.
Picking up all these plays.
Nicholson inside of Gardner. Third down conversions, 1 of 2 for the North. And the pitch again, this time to Williams. And he will fight his way forward to the 22-yard line. And they convert the third down, and they have it 1st and 10.
Big block on this side. Looked as though it was a mix-up. The quarterback looked to throw the ball to the left side on the pitch out. As you see, Corey Patton and Tim Wilburn were the two fellas double teaming on the right side to give Anthony Williams a chance to make that first down.
Anthony out of Greer High School.
The center now in the ball game is Talent. The center who started as right tackle, 63, is Tony Pearson, 230-pounder.
Cheeks and Nicholson to the top of the screen. This time, that is Patton blasting over the left side, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And Gerstenberg, the strong safety, making the tackle.
And what we're seeing now is a coaching staff, North coaching staff, very smart, utilizing the offense that their quarterbacks do well. Archie Irby, single back, moving around, and now with Johnny Hill, they're using mainly the I formation because apparently that's what John Hill is more accustomed to.
Hill brings them out again. Patton and Williams, the I backs. This time it is Patton on his own, getting into about the 15-yard line for a pickup of 3 on the play. There wasn't much there in the way of a hole.
Robert Walker, the nose guard, number 70, on the South team, clogged the hole up. He's 5'9", 220 pounds, and is a very strong fella. With short arms, he can bench press about 385 pounds, and that's basically what he did to the center that time. He bench pressed him.
Gardner goes to the top of the screen, and Brian Stevens comes to the bottom of the screen. They'll again work from the eye. Johnny Hill on the pitch to Acker, trying to get outside, and nothing there. Good defensive job by Bobby Presley, the weak side tackle who was moving laterally down the line of scrimmage to nail him.
6'2", 239 pounds, Bobby Presley, 71 on the option play, coming outside. Great speed. This young man is going to help some college football program because he not only has good straight-ahead strength, but he has good lateral movement.
And again, pointing out that he had 21 sacks on the season. That's a good indication of the speed he has.
That's hard to believe that one man could have 21 sacks at the high school level. You see that maybe in pro ball, but high school level football, must have been throwing the ball a lot for him to get to the quarterback that much.
I'll tell you what. So the North is going to be faced with a 4th down here, so they are talking it over now and determining just exactly what they want to do. I don't know, is it a time to gamble, or do you go for 3 here?
Depends on your field goal kicker, and the North is very fortunate because they have a young man that's been kicking them about 52 yards in practice.
Oh, that's Ryan Kurtz. Yeah, he's out there.
So in this game, again, though, Coach Tuberville said, hey, we came to have excitement, to play wide open football. He might make the decision. Look, let's go ahead and go for it.
Ryan set a state record in a game against Orangeburg-Wilkinson when he hit 4 field goals of 51, 47, 40, and 27 yards. So he's got range.
He's had everybody talking here in Myrtle Beach that have gone over to watch the North practice because of the strength of the leg and the accuracy that he has had.
Wigfall spot. The kick is blocked. And diving on it, back around the 27 or 28-yard line. And again, it was Presley who got up in there, I think, to make the block on that. Let's take a look.
Hold is good. The kicker's on time. He kicks it at about 1-3, 1-3-5. But Bobby Presley, he was there a lot quicker. And not only does he rush quarterbacks, the guy rushes kickers, too.
And, boy, I'll tell you what, one of the biggest things to discipline a lineman on is to get those hands up at all times. And he had them up there and was able to get the job done. So the South again with the football, leading 7-0 in this football game. We're in the second quarter. This time the pitch goes to Massey, turning the right side, up the sideline, crossing the 35 up to about the 36-yard line, and belted out of bounds in front of the South bench across the way. Johnson, the linebacker, Robin Johnson out of Greer, making the tackle.
Second down, 3, 35.
Gain of 7 on the play. It'll bring about 2nd and 3 from the 36-yard line now. South squad coming out with Jones as a wing to the bottom of the screen. Massey and Brown are the split backs. Bunch to throw, going deep, down that far side, and it's intercepted. Intended for Robinson, but Corey Downs, on a pass that was a bit underthrown, picks it off.
He got it back.
And the North gets it right back. Here's how they did it.
Difficult throw. He sprints out to the opposite side that he's trying to throw deep. Now, so often, quarterbacks will throw the curl pattern, but trying to go deep puts a lot of strain on that quarterback. Corey Downs makes the fine interception for the North team.
So the North has the football at their own 36-yard line as they have stopped the South team. The South, however, on top 7-0. And we'll take a timeout for these messages from your local North-South station.
It's Christmas time again. Mom wants a microwave, the kids a stereo and a TV, and me, I'd like a VCR. But with little money and no credit, what can I do? I know. I'll call Champion TV and Appliance Rentals and rent out everything we want for Christmas. Thanks to Champion's quality products and great selection, I can get what everyone wants. You can do the same. Happy holidays from Champion TV and Appliance Rentals.
Champion makes it easy to own. Champion.
This week on Siskel and Ebert, Cher and Nicolas Cage fall in love in the romantic comedy Moonstruck.
Will you marry me?
What?
Loretta,
What?
will you marry me? What? I'm confused.
And another romantic comedy, Overboard, starring Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Your chocolate cream pie.
That's this week on Siskel and Ebert.
The road to success isn't always smooth, but if you stick to it, work hard, and stay free of drugs, you can make it. Because the fact is, if you're free of drugs, you're free to succeed at anything you want to do. And take it from me, that's a super feeling.
Some happy youngsters. 11 minutes and 8 seconds remains in the first half of this football game with the South out on top of the North team by a score of 7-0. North, though, after the interception, taking over the football now at their own 36-yard line. Johnny Hill, the quarterback, sends Gardner to the top of the screen. And this time, gives to his tailback, Anthony Williams, running room, across midfield, down the sideline, and chased down and knocked out of bounds, finally, by Reggie Alston. But a pickup of 48 yards on the play, and that's some quickness getting outside.
It's the trap out of the eye. Send both backs to the left side. Now bring Anthony Williams back to the weak side. Eric Peak was the guy. 60 made the big block. Dexter Davis, 32, saves the touchdown.
And you know, that just goes to prove you don't have to have a knockdown block to spring a back.
That's right, and I'm sorry I meant Reggie Austin. I'm sure the people watching the game here in Myrtle Beach, that was Reggie Austin, 32, that made the tackle.
All right, this time they give to Acker. Crosses over the left side and gets inside the 15. Williams now 6 rushes for 81 yards in this game, Roman. And a lot of it on that last one.
He wasn't really supposed to start. Terry McGowan, who had accumulated 1,477 yards, was going to probably be the starter, but he's one of the guys that has a sprained ankle and is not able to play.
At the 13-yard line, second down, 6. Hill has them in the eye. This time, riding it off to the first man through, and that is Patton, who fights his way down close to the goal line, but is denied the goal line as he is hit and spilled there by Gareth Bonds. A 12-yard pickup, and here it is.
Power blocking the left guard comes around from left to right, Stephen Gioli, and right up the pipe where the big hole is, Corey Patton, gaining a lot of yardage. That north offensive line now starting to establish himself.
Anthony Williams gets back in. They'll go to the top of the screen with Gardner, and Stevens comes to the bottom of the screen. Acker and Williams, the I-backs. And this time it is Acker gets the call, and he is in for the touchdown. Joe Tuberville, seeing his team now move in for a score. Not showing a lot of emotion, though.
No, but he's got to be happy because actually lost part of his offense when Archie Irby left. Now they've gone mostly to the I formation. They're not running the single back at all. Been able to score the touchdown, put them back in the game.
Ryan Kurtz will attempt the point after. Mike Wigfall will hold the spot in the kick. And this time it's good. And the North has come back to tie it up with 9:40 remaining in the half. And we now have a 7-7 football game. And Roman, it's not out of the question. We might point out to the fans that should this game end in a tie, we'll have an extra period. Actually, the ball is set at the 10-yard line in high school and 4 downs to see whether or not they get it. Let's go to Chris down on the sidelines.
Thank you very much, guys. Obviously, Archie Irby hurt just a few plays ago on the interception play. Archie, how did you hurt that knee? What happened?
Well, the grass out there is real moist, and my feet got kind of stuck in the ground, and two of the South players hit me on both sides of my knee. It was just a really freak play.
Okay, good luck. Back up to you, Jim. Roman?
Well, we certainly hope that it's not serious. That North drive, 64 yards in 4 plays. Only a minute 54 off the clock, and they've tied it up 7-7. There's the kickoff now. High, end over end. Dexter Davis over the 15, 20, 25, breaks out of there. Up the sidelines, out to midfield, and finally hauled down at the 49-yard line by Tim McCarty. A 49-yard return.
Dexter Davis fills the ball in the basket like Willie Mays used to do in center field for those New York Giants. Eludes a tackler there, comes off the right side. Got to be careful, though. Every time he gets ready to go by a tackle, the ball goes up in the air, and that's the way you can lose it. Finally gets nailed there, but I think Dexter's also showing that he's the kind of player that can play anywhere.
So the South with the football. Davis and Brown are the backs. This time it is given off to Davis. Alton fights his way forward for a couple of yards before he is knocked down.
Massive wing left, 38 sweep. Let's go.
That was 38 sweep there.
38 sweep, and many years ago, that play we watched, they used to call it the old crossbuck out of the single wing. That's when you played, Jim.
No. That's when you played.
That's when I played.
Matt Bunch brings his team out. Wing to the left side. That is Martin. Bunch with split backs. Pitches back this time to Massey. Massey trying to turn it outside. Gets a yard at most as he's knocked down at the 45. Bright, the tackle, and Edwards, the middle guard, were there. There again, you see it. 64 yards on 4 plays. With a minute 54 off the clock, and Acker in for the touchdown. South now with a 3rd down and long. They've converted 2 out of 3. 3rd downs here this afternoon.
They break the wing now, go 2 wide out receivers out of the I formation.
Bunch to the, looking to the left for Robinson, and firing incomplete. Good defensive job by Chris Brooks, the quarterback who got up to deflect it.
They've gone to the well a little bit too often, as you mentioned earlier. Robinson has run about 3 of those out patterns, and each time Chris Brooks has gotten a little closer, somewhere. Got to go out and up to try to make Chris Brooks play the deep area a little bit more so than coming up on the sideline.
What do you think? Giles Hall said we may see a fake punt if they had decent field position.
Yeah, they got decent field position here. Could be.
hit a beauty. Fair catch called for. It's going to hit at the 5, and is it into the end zone? Yes, it is. Into the end zone, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Run that bus, that trap. Good job, huh?
46-yard punt.
Thought it down.
Down 10, 20.
Good hustle downfield. Reggie Austin, the Myrtle Beach strong safety, also a great running back, but played most of the year as a defensive back and some at running back. Does a beautiful job there making sure the ball doesn't get in the end zone. Or it got in the end zone, but he tried to keep it out of the end zone.
He certainly did. Patton, Williams, the I-backs. This time, straight ahead with it. They carry out across the 20 to the 22. That was Acker. Make it the 21-yard line, a gain of 1. Second down and 9 now for the North squad in a tie ball game, 7-7, with 7:20 remaining here in first quarter action. Joe Tuberville, who watched his team go 64 yards on the drive last time for a touchdown. Acker, now in 8 rushes, has picked up only 17 yards in the game. They've held him down. Stevens and Gardner to the top of the screen. Here comes the reverse. And that is Stevens turning the right side up over the 30, sprints outside and crosses the 35 and up to the 40 and knocked out of bounds. An 18-yard pickup that time. Stevens finally hauled down by Gareth Bonds. Here's a look at it.
Toss it back, looks like run, hands off to Stevens. Derek Van Noort, number 83, the tight end. Maybe, yeah, there you can see he had just knocked his man down, which paved the way for Stevens to get upfield on a big gain out of that reverse.
When Big Brian Stevens comes at you, you better hang on. Hill has Acker and Williams in the eye. That's Acker. Oh, boom. Nowhere to go. They're keying on that big fullback this afternoon. They've been knocking him down with regularity.
Now what's happening now is the South inside linebackers are starting to read run, and it's coming real hard. The way to counteract that is to fake a similar play, let the linebackers come up in the hole, and then hit the tight end across the middle.
At the conclusion of today's game, the Huddle Day Ends will present awards to today's Offensive Player of the Game and Defensive Player of the Game. Gardner goes to the top of the screen. Stevens will slot inside of him. They'll work from the I formation. Hill has Acker and Williams set. This time it is Williams. Finds a hole over left tackle and blasts out over the 45 to the 46 before Bobby Presley, whose name you've heard a few times this afternoon, the youngster from Georgetown, making the tackle. They mark it at the 45.
It's interesting how a game plan can change so much when you lose the quarterback and then you come in with the other quarterback, because prior to Archie Irby getting hurt, they were spreading it around and throwing the ball up a little bit more. But now with Johnny Hill, they're staying mostly on the ground. Of course, got a passing situation here. Let's see what Johnny Hill does.
Nicholson back in there as a slot inside of Gardner. 2 of 4 in third down conversions for the North this afternoon. A pitch back and a fumble. Falling out of his Williams for a loss back to the 41-yard line. And so the North team will have to punt the football.
Be smart, Jackson. Hey! Watch the fake. Watch the fake.
Now they're watching for the fake down along the sidelines.
Jim, you think this game counts in Giles Hall's mind?
I'll tell you, he is on top of it.
He is really fired up on the sideline.
Downs to punt. Davis back to receive. It hits and bounds around, takes a north bounce, comes back up over the 30 to the 32-yard line. And that's where it will be put in play by the South team. A 27-yard punt, no return. A 7-7 ball game with 5:05 here remaining in the second quarter. Timeout on the field. We'll pause for these messages from your local North-South station.
At Bob Bennett Ford, we strive to make buying a new car or truck easy for you. We give you the facts. A new rebate program from Ford makes it possible for you to save hundreds of dollars. 88 models are arriving daily, and many of these vehicles qualify for this new program. We give you top trade-in allowances for your present car or truck. No hassle buying. You'll find it at Bob Bennett Ford, and that's a fact.
Bob Bennett Ford, making it affordable.
This year, the great sounds of Christmas sound even better. Join us for a candlelight service from Ebenezer Lutheran Church in stereo. Christmas Eve at 8:30 on WIS-TV. Children at Christmas. Too many miss out on the true meaning. The YMCA touches the youth of the community with the true spirit of Christmas. And to you and yours, a happy holiday season. From your friends at the YMCA.
.505 left second quarter, 7-7 football game. Ernie Neal, 40 years ago, was playing in this game, and Chris William has him on the sidelines.
You know, it was 40 years ago. That's right, Jim. It was 40 years ago. This gentleman's still a lot bigger than me. Of course, that doesn't take much. Ernie Neal, originally number 42. Ernie, you were the organizer that got everybody back together to bring all the old-time players back to the game.
Right, we've got 19 of the original players here today.
What do you think of the game so far?
Great. Good weather, good attendance. Everything's going great. Exciting game.
A good way to start off the Christmas weekend, or Christmas week. Thanks, Ernie Neal. Back up to Jim and Roman.
Roman, I think you and I felt that by now there may be 35 or 40 points scored in this game, and we've got a 7-7 defensive battle.
5 turnovers have sort of put a damper on the offensive performances, and then, of course, the starting quarterback for the North getting hurt. They've gone mainly to a running game, but give the credit to the defense because they've been hitting.
All right, Davis, Leggett, the running backs, and this time it is Leggett taking it outside, wide right, being pursued, and gets a couple of yards after he was hit down there by Corey Downs, the cornerback. Good strength shown by Leggett as he ran through the tackle that time and picked up about 7 yards.
Fake to the fullback, and it's an off trap play to the right side. Leggett has outstanding speed, gained 1,580 yards, 7.4 average during the season. Outstanding running backs in this North-South game.
Jesse Dukes to the bottom of the screen. Martin the wing to the top. Second down, 3. This time they give to Alton Davis out of Marion.
Alton Davis.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more. He is knocked down there. As Johnson, the left side linebacker, was able to get to him.
It's called a hello block. Robin Johnson said, "Hello, Alton. How are you today?" and planted his face mask right on his shoulder pads and put him right to the ground.
Giles Hall and other members of that South team looking on from the sidelines. Gadsden is in now. He'll wing to the bottom of the screen and punch. Splits his backfield. This time back to throw, and throws long, a little too tall for his intended receiver, Tony Massey, coming out of the backfield.
Blitz the linebacker! They blitz the linebacker!
So they blitzed the linebacker. That's not supposed to happen.
Not supposed to happen. The inside backers are not supposed to come. And that was what Coach Giles Hall was a little riled up about. So maybe we might see a counter by the South defense against the North offense.
He sure was telling the official, Campbell back to punt. I mean Hyatt, I'm sorry. End over end. This one is grabbed off. And down the far sideline, on his way with the football is Brian Stevens. Cuts back to the middle, gets into South territory, and is knocked down at the 39-yard line. A 37-yard punt, and how about this? A 37-yard return.
Excitement on special teams, and that is so much of a game. Corey Downs is going to come into your picture on Dexter Davis right there. What a hit that was as Brian Stevens takes it up the left side, going to cut back now to the right side, showing the elusivity that he has. A great receiver, running back, put the ball away, almost had it knocked out, goes to the turf, and the North has great field position.
I love that elusivity. Here's Hill. Faking, rolling, throwing, and overshoots. Is it intercepted? Yes, it is, indeed. Picked off downfield by Dexter Davis. That's his second interception on the afternoon. So give him 8 on the year now.
Off of play action, Johnny Hill had 2 people open. finally tried to throw the ball downfield to Derek Van Noort, the tight end, but overthrew him and had it picked off.
That's 3 interceptions now thrown by the North team this afternoon. Again, Bunch. That offense quickly right back out there for the South squad at their own 22-yard line. Bunch with a pitch back to Massey. Massey getting outside, up over the 30, fights his way for a first down to the 35-yard line before he is hauled down by Robin Johnson, the linebacker.
So often you have great running backs, people that can catch, but Bobby Brown will lead the way. He was at the wing. There he is, coming to the right side. As you watch him right there, he's going to nail. Who is that? He's nailing that. Corey Downs.
Yes. And
that allows the running back to get about 3 or 4 more yards.
Tony Massey out of Lancaster High School. Well, again, I hate to keep saying the same thing over and over. But in the same respect, I don't think there's any question but what Giles Hall has done a psych job on his team to get them ready for this game. They are playing some rough and tough football. Be sure to stay with us at halftime for all of the ceremonies and festivities. The game dedication, the game queens, some North-South stars who went on to play in the NFL, and a special Myrtle Beach video Christmas card. It's all coming your way at halftime here this afternoon. 2:13 remains in the half, and we're tied at 7-7.
The North is getting hurt again where they really don't need to be hurt. They're losing another lineman here. Selwyn Bright looks as though he sprained an ankle, and that will mean 4 of their guys they brought into camp this week are out of this game, possibly, if Bright's not able to return.
Selwyn out of Northwestern High School. Well, he's not feeling too good at all. But right now, he's not smiling quite the way he is in that photo.
Coach Farnham, one of the assistant coaches for the North team, said if we have a weakness, it's that we have people hurt and we could use another defensive or offensive lineman.
Massey and Leggett. Robinson is split to the lower half of the screen. This time, Bunch on the keep. Design play all the way, wasn't it?
Bunch. Stopped by McCain.
Gets up to about the 39-yard line where McCain made the tackle on him.
Coming out of the option play, trying to turn it upfield. And as you mentioned, it looked as though the quarterback had run in his mind the whole time. That's Matt Bunch, who has done an excellent job for the South team running that offense.
Robinson. Now he's heading off the field. I thought he was going to go to the top, but he's heading off. Massey and Brown is marking to the lower portion of the screen. This time, they ride it off to Brown, and nothing there. He gets a little on his own as he punches for a yard out to the 40-yard line before Robin Johnson wraps him up and spins him down.
The backup nose tackle or nose guard, Neil Miller, was there to slow him down so that Johnson could make that play.
So the South now faced with a 3rd down and 5 is going to discuss it a little bit here. They, at this particular time, need to come up with something that's going to get them the first down yardage, or they'll turn the football right back over to the North squad. And that's something that I know Giles Hall would rather not do at this particular moment.
And I'm afraid that the day of the two-way player is back because Mark Shirley, who's a left tackle for the North team on offense, is now taking Selwyn Bryant's place as a defensive tackle on the defense.
Well, when you have to go digging, you dig the best you can.
Do what you got with what brung you here, I guess.
Come over to my digs.
Yeah, come on down.
Beautiful sunlit afternoon and fine crowd on hand for this 40th annual North-South High School All-Star Game being played here at Myrtle Beach Memorial Stadium. 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the first half, tied at 7.
Jim, excellent situation in the wing tee on 3rd down to fake running action and get that tight end down the middle.
Martin is the wing to the top of the screen. Bunch. They reverse to Robinson. Going the opposite way, but a fine defensive play over there by Mike Wigthall, the free safety, who had one-on-one coverage that time, and he did his job.
Did a tremendous job on the play because Robinson's very fast, very quick. That kind of play generally is better when you have a shorter distance to go. Sort of hate to see him waste that reverse play running it on 3rd and 8 or 9 yards.
So now, the South team faced with a 4th down and 7 after a loss on that play. They'll call on Hyatt to punt.
Delay. South.
Well, we had a delay of game called against the South.
A dead ball, delay of game, offense, 4th down.
That'll set it back to the 33-yard line.
Trying to run the clock out. Only 25 seconds left to go in this first half.
So Hyatt on the punt. Stevens and Brooks, twin receivers back, gets off a fine kick. And it is fumbled around back there. Diving on it, though, Brian Stevens, as Chris Brooks could not handle it. And although there is some chagrin from some, it nonetheless is going to be the North football. With 15 seconds remaining in the half.
First down, 10. North.
Let's take a look at it here.
Oh, just didn't get up to the football. Looked as though he sort of lost it, misjudged it, and it fell off the fingertips.
Johnny Hill giving this time to Williams. Anthony getting outside, up over the 45 to about the 46, stays in bounds. Robert Walker, the nose guard, kept it in bounds. Walker out of Wade Hampton.
South 7, North.
And the clock running down here as the first half comes to a close. And there you get a look at South head coach Giles Hall marching off. His team an underdog coming into this game, but they have done a job. And as these two teams head back in, they have tried that wide open football that we heard so much about. But right now we've got a 7-7 deadlock. All right, let's go to Chris William on the sideline, who is with North head coach Joe Tuberville.
An excellent game so far, Coach. The North's been winning 5 years in a row. Can you keep doing it?
Well, I hope so. I'm just a little concerned right now. We've got a couple of people banged up, but I'm not sure if they can be able to play the second half. And so we're getting a little thin, but the players are giving good efforts. It's been a real exciting first half, and we hope to make it real exciting in the second half.
Would you like to get Irby back in here in the second half?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think Irby's going to be back today. I don't think he's hurt bad, but I don't think he'll be back today.
Right. Any big changes in the second half as compared to the first half?
Well, we get going in to get together now. I'm sure we'll make a few changes, a couple of things that we've seen the first half and things that have been able to help us up from upstairs scouting, and there'll be a few minor changes, but we're going to do mainly the same things. Hopefully just a little better.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half. Jim, Roman?
Okay, thank you, Chris. We are here at halftime. 7-7 football game, and it's been one that's seen a lot of good, hard licks out there this afternoon. More coming up as halftime festivities continue right after these network commercials.
The 40-year history of the North-South All-Star Game is one of action, excitement, and achievement on the field, and one of hard work, cooperation, and unselfish support along the sidelines. The North-South Game Committee and the South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association salute the many individual and corporate sponsors from the Grand Strand and across the state who've supported the North-South Game this year and throughout the game's long history. For information on how you can join the North-South team of sponsors, contact the North-South Game Committee in Myrtle Beach.
Christmas time. Here's some first half stats now. See, first downs are relatively even, but the North has built up a substantial lead in rushing yardage.
That's probably
2 of 5 passing, though, with 3 intercepts. That hurts.
Probably the interesting statistic there, Jim, is we thought the North would have the passing game and the South would be just the opposite to a certain extent, but the South actually has the edge in the passing game, whereas the North has 162 yards rushing the football.
So 211 total yards for the North to 139 total yards for the North team. Irby was 2 of 4 with 2 intercepts. Hill 0 for 1 with 1 intercept for the North team. For the South, Bunch was 6 of 10. First quarter, South went ahead on a 15-yard run by Leggett to take a 7-0 lead. In the second quarter, the North tied it up when Acker went in from a yard out. And that's the way we stand as North coach Joe Tuberville down along the sidelines is pacing back and forth. And as we indicated earlier, and I think it's worth mentioning for those who may have turned in late, they have suffered a couple of very disastrous injuries here, coupled with those players that they lost during the practice of the week.
Lost 2 in practice. They lost a running back, Terry McGowan, and an offensive lineman, Kevin Morgan. In this game, their starting quarterback, Archie Irby, and a defensive end or tackle, Selwyn Bryant. So that sort of puts them in a hole.
That's a look at the South squad, now the North squad, as these two teams prepare now to get into play in the second half of this football game this afternoon. Both squads, I'm sure, had a thorough session in there at halftime, because the coaches right now, even though for the South squad, perhaps it's a good sign knowing that they are in a tie football game. I know that Joe Tuberville and his team came in here feeling that they could dominate. We mentioned earlier maybe they were a bit cocky. That probably is not the proper word to use, but in the same respect, I think that they did come in with a lot of confidence. They had not lost a football game, or the North teams had not lost a football game since 1980 in this particular game. And I think they felt as though they were going to come out and dominate again. They had outstanding personnel all over.
And they had a good plan coming in, utilizing the three offensive formations that they chose for this game, the I slot, and the single back. But when Archie Irby got hurt, the North team lost their single back offense, and that's hurt them quite a bit. And Jim, you mentioned earlier on that a tie game, that there will be an overtime, 7-7 at the half, so there could be an overtime in this game.
Well, we heard from North coach Joe Tuberville earlier. Giles Hall is standing by with Chris William on the sidelines now.
Once again, Coach Hall, when he's not doing North-South games, he's in Walterboro. Coach, what are you expecting from the second half, and who are you depending on?
Well, we're going to let Ronald try it a while at quarterback now. We're going to see if we can't execute a little better. I think the series, we took it down, scored real well. Defense played good for 3 series, and offense turned it back over after 1 or 2 plays. So we're going to try to see if we can't get a sustained drive here in the third quarter and get some things going for our guys.
Well, you have a 5-year losing streak you're trying to break. You might be able to pull it off this afternoon?
Well, we certainly hope so. We want to break that streak. It's been a long time, so we're looking forward to it. I think we will.
Okay, Coach, you have some one more quick question. You have a couple exceptional ends, some very fast people on the field. Are you going to utilize them?
We're going to try to utilize them. We felt like we'd run right and left in the first half, maybe tire them out a little bit, and we catch up in the second half. So you can look for us to go outside and more this half.
Coach Hall, Coach Giles Hall from Walterboro, thank you very much. Jim, Roman, back to you.
Well, we heard Coach Hall indicate that Ronald York out of Manning, South Carolina, will come on to quarterback here in the second half, and he can be dangerous, Roman. He is a young man who can run with the football. He scored 7 touchdowns as a rusher. He threw for 10 more. Maybe this is the ingredient that South squad needs now to get rolling.
I think that's a good point to bring up, because Giles Hall, when he found he was going to coach this team, Giles went 3 days visiting schools, watching film, and decided he would go and get the personnel that was needed to run a wing T as well as an I formation, and thus far it's paid off for him.
So we are about to begin the second half of play.
For the South, Ryan
Kicking off will be Ryan Kurtz, and Dexter Davis is back to receive for the South squad. A 7-7 football game as we enter into the third quarter of play. Kurtz gets the whistle, and here's his move. High and overwind. Davis 3 yards into the end zone.
touchback.
And it will come out to the 20-yard line where it will be placed. And the South squad will call upon Ronald York of Manning, South Carolina, to quarterback here to start the third quarter. There's Joe Tuberville, the North coach.
That's what he said.
This is the way it's been going.
Okay, well, that's it.
Robinson is going wide out. And there's a good look at York just coming on. Davis and Brown are the I-backs. This time it is Brown who is hit as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and pummels forward for about a yard. Mike Newton, the linebacker, really stood him up that time.
Mike Newton has the build of an inside linebacker, low to the ground, 205-pounder, gets up underneath the pile, 76, and brings the running back right up over his shoulder and dumps him for very little gain.
I think they call that good technique, don't they?
Is that what that's called?
Robinson to the bottom of the screen. Davis and Leggett are the I-backs. And York pitching it back. This is Leggett trying to get outside, gets outside, and fights his way up to the 30-yard line and across the 30 for a first down. Mike Newton, the linebacker, knocking him down, and this is a good run.
That's a tall sweep back to Leggett, and that's Mayock, 62, out in front of Leggett. Good block. Mayock has had an outstanding football game thus far. Leggett going forward like good running backs should do.
Robinson, along with Jones, will be the wideouts as York has his team again in the eye. This time, rides it off once more. This time, Brown doesn't get much, perhaps a yard, up around the 31 or 32-yard line. And Chris Painter, the defensive end from Irmo High School, was there to knock him down.
What was the offensive set?
Let's listen in. Well, we had an opportunity for a moment there. But they didn't want to divulge that offensive set, huh? Second down, 9 for the South squad. Football at their 32-yard line. York this time hands off to Davis. Over right tackle, punches his way to the 35-yard line. And they've started off rather conservatively here.
Trying to loosen up those offensive linemen. John Barker, the right guard, a 240-pounder. Fred Simmons, 290 at 6'3". The center, Tad Wheeler, at 210. So trying to let those offensive linemen work out the kinks, then open up the offense as they warm up.
Third down and 6. The South in the afternoon is 2 of 6 on third down conversions. Ronald York sets his team, pitches back to Brown, trying to get outside. Has some running room, but he fights his way forward. He's going to be close to a first down over there as he was hit again by Chris Painter, the defensive end. But that was good effort once more. And you've got to look at it here. Brown with the football.
Coming to the right side with Brown trying to get the first down. Chris Painter with the strong right hand pulls him back. It's going to be close. Well, fourth down.
All right, now we have talked earlier about the fact that Giles Hall said if they got proper field position, they might go with a fake punt. And they need less than a yard. And they've got those two wideouts, and that's an indication. If you happen to hear red here, we may see something.
Well, he's decided to go right from the I formation.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Again, Jim.
Yeah, you're right. He gets it. I'm sitting here looking at you instead of the game, Roman.
Now they run the safe play, the quarterback sneak. It's going to be close because the North defensive line, they're pointing to the goal line. Rich Mayock, 62 of the South team, he's pointing the other way. It's going to be an interesting conversation amongst the referees.
I'll tell you, it doesn't look as though, well, maybe they've got it. I see the spot of the football now. But you're right, York just going in behind. Wheeler and Barker there gets the first down. So the South keeps its drive alive. They have it at their 41-yard line. Football game tied 7-7. And this time they'll send Robinson as a wideout along with Jones. High formation. York pitching it back this time. And turning to the left side is Brown. Fights his way across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line where Selwyn Bright, and nice to see that Bright is back in there again, makes the tackle.
Pitch back out of the I formation, coming to the left side or your right side. Bobby Brown just doing an excellent job of running the football and getting up the field. It looks as though Coach Giles has decided that his offensive line can manhandle the front line of the North team.
Good 6 yards on first down. It brings about 2nd and 4. Davis and Leggett line up in the I. York pitching it back. This is Leggett. Good speed, trying to get outside on the corner, but nowhere to run to, and he is hemmed in. Forced out. Robin Johnson had the good outside pursuit to him and drives him down for no gain on the play, and they are now faced with a 3rd and 4.
Robin Johnson's also playing an outstanding game for the North team. Had 102 tackles during the year. Really is able to scrape right and left. Has great lateral movement, as you're seeing here as he goes after the running back all over the football field. Doing a good job.
Brown gets back in there as Leggett checks out. 2 of 7 on third down conversions for the South now. York has Robinson to the lower part of the screen. and drops to throw. Looking, firing, it is knocked down, incomplete. Mike Wigfall getting in front of a pass intended for Gadsden, the tight end. And so now they are faced with a 4th down and a long 4.
46.
Hyatt back to punt. And we have Brooks and Stevens back to receive. Fake! This time they give on the outside, and they're not going to get it. They are denied as Frank Scott came off that formation left. And Hyatt handed behind his back to him, but
watch the punter make the fake, kicks through behind the back to Frank Scott coming around the right side. The North team is not fooled because they also have a fake punt in, so they apparently had worked on this or had information about it.
But it looked good.
It did look good, and it's a gutsy call by Giles Hall.
And the North has excellent field position in South Territory. We're going to take time out for these messages from your local North-South station.
Hello, I'm Dick Van Dyke. If you're 45 to 74, I have a very serious question to ask you. Have you ever thought about the kind of suffering your spouse and loved ones may have to go through after your death? Well, there's not much you can do to prepare them for the sorrow that would follow, but there is something you can do to help prevent the financial crisis that may result. You see, most people over 45 know they need more life insurance, but the problem is it's often just too expensive to get because of your age or your health. Well, I'm pleased to tell you National Benefit Life has found a way for you to get the protection you need at a price you really can't afford. Just $3.95 a month. That's right, just $3.95 a month. It's called Security Life, a remarkable new plan that provides solid insurance protection to your family when they need it the most. For example, a 45-year-old man can get $40,000 of initial protection for just 65 cents a day. This is a life insurance plan you simply cannot be turned down for, no matter what your present health is like. Just think, big dollar benefits, low monthly premiums, guaranteed acceptance, and no agent coming to your home. You know, I've looked at a lot of life insurance plans for people our age, but I believe Security Life is one of the best around. Why don't you pick up the phone right now and call for your free information kit? It comes in the mail, tells you all you need to know about this plan. When you do, you'll find out why I'm recommending Security Life and why I bought it for myself.
To receive your free information package, call toll-free 1-800-231-6600. You'll also receive information about the Family Will Kit. It's free and tells you how to save time and money preparing for your own last will and testament. So call now, 1-800-231-6600.
Remaining in the third quarter, it's North and South tied at 7, and Chris William has found his way to the fans.
Again, Merry Christmas. We have a couple people with us supporting the South Side. Your name, sir?
Wes Stanley.
And your wife? Lori. Okay, now Lori and Wes, obviously pulling for the South, you want to break that 5-year losing record, right?
Yes, sir. We're pulling hard.
And we found out that Wes is a coach and an assistant coach at Manning.
Right. I'm an assistant coach, and our head coach is here as an assistant coach in the South, for the South.
Well, certainly, thanks for coming to the game. Merry Christmas, and best of luck to them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, back to Jim and Roman.
Thank you very much, Chris. North, after that gamble by the South on the fake punt, has excellent field position. They are in at the 48-yard line of the South. Johnny Hill, this time giving to Acker. Busts over the left side and picks up about 5 or 6 yards, maybe a little more, as he punches his way into the 43-yard line, they'll mark it. Bobby Presley making the tackle.
North opens up out of the single back. That's Tim Wilburn, number 64, the right guard, trapping on the left side, who opens up the hole. So maybe we're going to see the North go back to the single back. It looks as though they're ready to play some football.
Second down, 4 yards to go. This time, again, back to throw, intended for Stevens. Hill's pass off of Stevens' hands, going incomplete. Tom Rhodes. Cornerback there to break it up.
Tom Rhodes, a very intelligent football player, member of the National Honor Society, a straight-A student, played the ball well. Actually, the pass from Hill was a little high, difficult to catch that slant when it's too high.
Lives in another fine tourist area of this state, Hilton Head.
Hilton Head Island. Woo.
2 of 5 on third down conversions for the North this afternoon as they are faced with this one here. Gardner to the bottom of the screen. And now they run Acker off the right side, and he's got the first down. Just a quick pop over the right side that time, and Acker turned it out and gets it into the 36-yard line for a first down.
Same play coming to the right side now as they opened up with, but Acker picks the hole, runs to daylight. Vince Lombardi used to say that, and there's a good example of it as Acker makes his way from left to right to get the first down.
Only 5'10", but a solid 190 pounds, and he can move. So Hill bringing his team out as Acker in behind. Garner and Stevens are wideouts. Back to throw. Hill, he's going deep. That is Stevens, and out of his hands, down at the 3-yard line. I don't know whether Rhodes got just a little piece of that or whether he heard footsteps, but boy, that ball was well thrown.
The ball was a 3-step drop by the quarterback, Hill. He released the ball well, had good protection. There it is, right. Oh, it was tipped.
Just touched.
Just touched by Tom Rhodes. He was beaten, too. He was beaten, and what made that pass effective is before Stevens actually got to Rhodes, the ball was in the air, and Stevens ran by.
Nicholson now is in as a wide out to the right. And this time, straight up the middle with it is Acker, fighting his way across the 30 into about the 28-yard line.
Stop by Reggie Alston.
You talk about a trap block, Jim. Watch
beauty.
Stephen Gioli coming from his left guard position right up the pipe, lowered the shoulder, not the head, takes on the good linebacker Gareth Bonds and still goes forward to make more yardage.
3rd and 2. North 3 of 6 third down conversions this afternoon. They bring Brian Stevens to the bottom of the screen. Acker and Williams in the eye. Williams gets the pitch, turns it, and gets the first down and more. He's at the 10-5 touchdown.
Anthony Williams running and scoring.
33 yards. And once he popped the line of scrimmage, there was nobody there to slow him down.
No surprise about this call. Just a tailback sweep off the pitch. Does most of this on his own. He has already broken 2. That's the 3rd tackle. Sees the end zone line. All-star game. Why not? Let's go home with the football. Touchdown for the North.
Anthony Williams out of Greer, South Carolina, 33 yards to pay dirt. Ryan Kurtz attempting the point after. And the kick is dead true down the center. And here it is again, just as it was in the first quarter. The South coming up here and saying, whoa, but not in time, because the North calls on Williams, and he pops it right there as we look at it once again. That is a fine, fine job of running. And a little celebration at the end. And look at that North bench now. They're happy over there, aren't they?
They sure are.
We'll have more third quarter action coming your way after this network timeout.
Jim Cole knows his business inside out. So when he needed a phone system, he wanted to talk to someone who knew phones just as well. Carrie Hill is such a person. As one of our specially trained salespeople, she has the knowledge to analyze needs, demonstrate products, and recommend the perfect system. We think anyone who runs a small business shouldn't have to run around looking for the right phone. GTE, quality service from quality people.
Okay, everybody, dinner break.
Warm up all your holiday activities with something new. McDonald's Holiday Chicken McNuggets. In festive 9 and 20-piece packs. Tasty chunks of chicken and 2 new sauces. Tangy cranberry with a twist of orange and sweet apple spiced with cinnamon. Better chime in before holiday McNuggets are gone.
Well, it's a 14-7 football game now as the North has moved on top, and Anthony Williams just scored on that 33-yard rush. Chris William has him.
Thank you again, Anthony Williams, Greer High School. Anthony, excellent play. How do you feel about the whole game so far?
It's a good game. We had a lot of problems first half and catching the count, but we got ourselves situated right now.
It's that kind of thing that gets the whole team going again,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. When we coming out this half playing as a family.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Great Christmas present for the North to win 6 years in a row now, huh?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, Anthony Williams, thank you very much. Back to Jim and Roman.
Yeah, family. I'll tell you, we've heard that before in sports, haven't we?
We sure have. Every year you hear about it.
Was it family when you were up there in the NFL?
We call it team.
Team, all right.
Team effort. Nowadays it's supposed to be family, but I think we were more of that family, even though we were called a team, because we spent time on and off the field together. Like these guys at the All-Star game, they live, they eat, they sleep, they go to meetings and practice all the time. That's why they get it done.
There's Kurt's kick, a flat kick, and it's grabbed by Dexter Davis at the 6. Up over the 20, pops his way out over the 25 to the 27, and down he goes there. So the South will start with good field position as Chris Brooks got down to make the tackle.
Jim, Mike Anthony, one of the North coaches who handles the running backs, he's responsible for the kickoff team. Done a nice job, those assistant coaches.
6 plays, 48 yards, 2 minutes, 3 seconds off the clock, 33-yard touchdown run by Williams. 22-yard return by Davis on that kickoff, and now the South ready to operate with Ronald York at quarterback. Rides it to his second back, Brown, and he'll come up to the 30, and is knocked down there by Mike Wigfall, the free safety.
The South, to get back in this game, needs to open it up a little bit. Another running play in the I formation. Takes the ball from the quarterback, Ronald York. They really need to open up just a tad because the last 6 times the South has had the football, they have not done anything with it.
And the safeties are cheating up a little bit for the North right now. They know they're going to run.
That's right, and this is a pretty good time to do a little play action, try to get somebody deep down the field.
Davis, Brown, the I-backs, slot on the left side. York back to throw. Looks over the middle and fires, and is it complete? No, it is incomplete, intended for Jones.
Anthony Jones, incomplete coverage by Mike.
Remember, at the conclusion of today's game, the Holiday Inn's Offensive Player of the Game and Defensive Player of the Game will be selected. It is now 3rd down, 6 yards to go for the South team. And again, they are faced with a 3rd down conversion. They have accomplished that only 2 times in 8 tries. York, this time, will ride it off to Leggett, and he meets resistance as he comes up to the 33-yard line, and that resistance is called Mike Newton out of Daniel High School. An outstanding student in addition to being a good football player.
Reverse play, coming back to the tailback, hands it off in there, and there's no hole, no place to run. The North is getting stronger and stronger, even though they have less players, because the South has not really done anything to help themselves on offense. And I know Coach Giles is trying to play everybody, so this might be the last chance we see the eye. He could possibly get back to that wing tee.
Hyatt to punt. Boy, it's a good one. This one is grabbed by Stevens. Stevens is nailed immediately. Knocked down at the 27-yard line. Reggie Alston making the hit on him. A 41-yard punt, a 2-yard return. And it just goes to show you, if you get that good hang time, it allows those outside people an opportunity to get down.
It sure does. And 2 of their better players, Dexter Davis and Reggie Alston, 42 and 32, were there to make that stop.
So the North with the football. And they are ready to go. Fumbled in the backfield by McGowan. And if I'm not mistaken, that's McGowan's first opportunity to touch the football this afternoon, is it not?
Yes, it is, Jim. He's in there to throw the halfback pass.
2nd down.
Bryant Stevens was wide open running down the right sideline, but McGowan wasn't ready. You can see here he's limping off, has an air cast on the ankle, which he had injured during the week, trying to get him in there for that one play. It's too bad because he had a possibility for the touchdown.
So Johnny Hill brings his club up again. That's Stevens at the lower portion of your screen. The pitch back this time, and coming to the right side is Williams. Williams fights his way out to the 30-yard line.
Anthony Williams.
And is batted down there, a pickup of 10 on the play. Robert Walker, the nose guard.
Number 32 on the stop.
Pitch sweep back to Anthony Williams on the outside. Bryant Stevens tries to make his block on Tom Rhodes. When you're making that block on the outside as a flanker, you need to stay with the cornerback rather than trying to hit and then go to your knees. Stay with him, get in front of him, let the running back make his move off of your block.
Third down, 7. They're in the eye. Stevens and Gardner. Stevens to the top of the screen. Gardner the slot right. And back to throw, Hill. He's in trouble now, scrambling out of there. Got a far downfield, wide open is Stevens. He's got it up at the 45-yard line of the South team. 25-yard pass connection, and that was a great job by the quarterback, Hill, who found Stevens.
Makes a great fake in there before he comes outside. Actually has to elude a couple of people. Shows the kind of talent and skill he has. Bryant Stevens, as you should do when the quarterback's in trouble, came across the middle. Here's the play action to the tailback. Took a look there. In trouble. Gets away. Lifts the feet. Running all the time. Always thinking. Bryant Stevens comes to his quarterback, and the North has a big play.
Hill this time is riding it off over the right side, and that is Patton fighting his way into about the 40, perhaps the 39-yard line, where he is knocked down. Hey, he's got a pretty strong arm. Way through on the run there.
He was off balance, going to the right side, throwing back across the field. Showed that he should be in this all-star game like all of these young fellas.
Second down, 5 yards to go now for the North team. They've taken a 14-7 lead in this game. There's a view of the fine crowd that's on hand here at Myrtle Beach Memorial Stadium this afternoon. 40th annual North-South All-Star game. McGowan and Patton. And this time, keeping it is Hill, rolling to his left, and is hemmed in over there and is going to be dragged down for a loss of about 3 by Kevin Little. Was that a busted play?
Busted play. Jim, it looked as though Hill was going to give the ball, or try to give the ball to Bobby Brown, number 40. It looked, well, Bobby Brown turned around and said, why didn't you give it to me?
But Hill said, I don't know.
I know, he's making the most of it. Of course, that's when quarterbacks get hit the most. Whenever you make the big mistake, you've got to pay for it.
5 of 8 on third down conversions for the North.
Well, that was McGowan in there again.
Yes, it was.
He's still playing with the bad ankle and all.
Gardner with a slot to the bottom of the screen. Hill off play action. Looking to throw, going deep. And it is caught. And in for the touchdown is Anthony Williams. 41 yards. And the play action freezing them just long enough. Boy, that's fine, fine football. We talked about wide open football. We're seeing it. Look at here.
Marty Talent, number 61, allowed the play to be efficient as the quarterback, John Hill, was able to get outside, do a magnificent job. He's playing well. The North has opened up in the second half, so they're going to try to continue to keep that streak going.
Well, they build up a substantial lead here now, as Kurtz will try and tack on point number 21. He does. And so the North squad now leading over the South 21-7 here at Myrtle Beach Memorial Stadium on this brilliant sunny afternoon, this 40th annual North-South All-Star Game. The third quarter will be continuing after this from your local North-South station.
And now back to Deal-A-Meal with Richard Simmons.
Thank you. We're back. Today we're talking about the fastest growing weight loss program in history. In its first 8 weeks, 250,000 people started it. What is it, people? That's right. But you know, I bet a lot of you out there are still wondering, does Deal-A-Meal really work? Well, everybody here is on it. What do you think? Does Deal-A-Meal work? Yeah. You bet it does. Now, listen, I know a lot of you are just eating too much now that the holiday seasons are here, and many of you are feeling guilty about it already. Well, I say it's time to make an early New Year's resolution. It's time for you to start using Deal-A-Meal, because with Deal-A-Meal, you can lose weight permanently. It's not a gimmick, and it's easy to use. Deal a Meal divides the food groups into 6 colors of playing cards. Meats are red, veggies green, fruits pink, dairy blue, fats yellow, and breads brown. You start the day with a set number of cards on the left side of your Deal a Meal wallet. Every time you eat, you buy your food by moving the appropriate card to the slots on the right. When you're out of cards on the left, you're done eating for the day. With these cards, you can finally control your calories without counting them. So does Deal a Meal really work? Mary, what do you think?
I love Deal a Meal. I started Deal a Meal, got my husband on Deal a Meal, and we're both doing great.
How much have you lost, Mary?
I've lost 115 pounds.
Woo! 115 pounds! Deal a Meal really does work, and it can work for you. I use it, they use it, and 250,000 and counting use it. You should too.
Deal a Meal is just $19.95, and it's only available through this toll-free number, 1-800-225-9300. To save COD charges, use your credit card when ordering. So call 1-800-225-9300. That's 1-800-225-9300.
That young man has rushed for 127 yards and a touchdown and a reception for 41 yards and a touchdown, Anthony Williams. It's 21-7. The North leads it. And let's go to Chris.
We also had a gentleman standing out on the same field. We were close to the same field 40 years ago. Number 34, Dr. Jack Chandler now from Greenville. And 40 years later, you're back at another North-South game.
Oh, it's a reunion of the 40th reunion of the first team to play the game.
You have 19 players here. Are you excited about seeing everyone?
Oh, it's just been wonderful renewing old acquaintances, and this is such a first-class affair. Myrtle Beach should make itself proud. I played for the South. I now live in the North region, so I guess I'm neutral.
But living in the North, but still plugging for the South. Thank you, Dr. Chandler. Best of luck to you. Now, back up to you, Jim. Roman?
He's a doctor, but he speaks like a politician.
He sure does. He's smart, isn't he? He'll wait till he leaves the ball game before he makes up his mind.
There's Dexter Davis back to receive for the South squad. They suddenly find themselves 14 points down in this game. And Kurtz to kick off for the North. Flat kick, going to be grabbed off by the up back. That is Anthony Jones. Fights his way out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line, and he is knocked down there. A 19-yard return. Corey Patton was there to make the defensive play. And so the South needs to generate something now.
You're certainly right, Jim. It's time for the South to pull out all the stops. Use everything that they have because you're down 21-7. They've gone to sleep since they went in to talk about what they were going to do when they came out. It's time to jack it up a little bit, get that temperament going, the tempo, regain the offense.
Davis and Brown are the backs. That is Robinson down the far sideline. Just a quick out over there. Little screen and a cut ahead for about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Corey Downs, once again, was up to make the tackle.
Corey Downs on the stop.
That last scoring drive by the North, 6 plays, 73 yards, used 3 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock, and was culminated in the reception by Anthony Williams, a 41-yard touchdown play. 2:39 remains here in the third quarter.
Stacy Robinson was banged up on that play, so he's all on the sideline now, receiving some attention.
Back to throw is York, going deep down the far side, and he overshoots Robinson. Robinson had the defense beat out there. The pass thrown just a little too long for him, however.
Actually, Jim, Stacy Robinson was hurt on the play before. Anthony Jones was the...
I'm sorry, you're right.
York threw the ball where it should be, but we don't have a chance to see that one again. Jones was down the sideline and slowed up trying to look for the football.
York is 1 of 4 for 4 yards since he came on. Now they wing to the bottom of the screen. 2 of 8 on third down conversions for the South. And York looking to throw, fires quickly, and this one grabbed by Dukes. And did he make the catch inbounds? He did. That'll be good for a first down.
Off of play action, York makes to fake in there to the fullback. Jesse Dukes runs a 10-yard out, knows that he has the first down, enough yardage, keeps both feet in, which you have to have in high school. Good concentration, and I believe the first catch by Jesse Dukes today.
So the South now moving with the football at their own 46-yard line. Dukes comes to the lower part of the screen this time as they line up once again in the I. York back to throw once again. Under pressure, delivers over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Jones. And a well-thrown football. Jones just didn't hang on when he got popped out there.
Square in pattern with York coming out to the right side to get a little more protection and some more time. Delivers the ball well. It's a little bit high. Anthony Jones goes up. Big hit by Corey Downs. That's what knocks the ball loose. And you have to remember, Anthony Jones coming into this game wasn't an outside receiver, but he was a running back. So that's a little difficult for a guy to make that adjustment.
And nothing a wide receiver hates more than to going over the middle like that and getting popped.
And to get nailed in the back.
So now it is 2nd down and 10. Once more, York to throw. Little screen set up and dropped over there by Billy Martin. Pack's actually thrown just a little behind him that time, and he really didn't have an opportunity, and actually the screen didn't get set anyhow.
Sure didn't. And almost it looks as though the South is moving in slow motion. Maybe I'm tired, but it doesn't look as though the South is really hitting on all cylinders. So they need to get something going.
I'm going to run Y flag. Come on, Anthony.
Sal's Hall. Going to run that wide flag this time.
Yeah,
big third,
sounds like he's going to go with these
now,
tight
big third
ends.
down. Listen to me now. Let's get it right now. All right. Ho, Billy, stay in. He's coming in for Carlos right here. He's going to be the split end. You're going to be the tight end. All right. Pro right, okay? 8. Pro right. 23, okay? 23 bootleg. Z flat. And do a flag now. And you got to have 10 to 12 now. You got me? Let's get it open now. You got me? Pro right, 23 bootleg, Z fly, flag, okay? All right.
Only those of you who played the game know what all this is about.
All right, Jim, the pro right is an I right formation, and the boot action is the tailback coming to the left side. The quarterback will make the fake to him. They'll pull a guard to get him out in front if their boot is like that, and try to send the wide receiver deep, get the tight end somewhere out in the flat. Let's see if that's what happens here.
Jones coming to the bottom of the screen. It is 3rd down and 10. Martin at the top of the screen is a wideout. And York off play action, looking to throw, and it's intercepted. Thrown behind the intended receiver and picked off down there by Tim McCarty, who will return it into South territory 25 yards after he picked it off to the 41-yard line.
This is your pro right 23 boot with the flag and a flat and all those good things, but it doesn't work whenever a guy gets in your face like that. The ball's thrown behind by York. Tim McCarty, who's another quarterback playing in the defensive secondary for the North, picks it off.
That was Selwyn Bright, who went out with an ankle injury in the first half, but he came in looking pretty good on that play to get the hands up and distract a bit.
He's toughing it up. That's why the North has been a winner over the last few years. They never quit.
Hill has Acker and Williams as his I-backs now. And gives to Williams. This guy has had quite an afternoon as he punches across the 40 to the 39-yard line and is knocked down there. Defensively, Gareth Bonds, the linebacker, making the stop. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Captain Gareth Bonds has had an outstanding game all over the football field, leading that South defense. They need the big play here. They're not able to let the North score again.
I think you're right. That South squad is suddenly looking very, very slow by comparison.
Okay, you want to do it out the I set, or you want to do that one back?
Mitch Nicholson at the top of the screen. Hill, now they reverse to Nicholson. He wants to throw, but he is not going to be able to, as he is bounced down back at the 45-yard line. A loss of 16 on the play. And you had mentioned earlier, if Nicholson was in there, we may see this attempt to throw. It just didn't work.
That's what happens to quarterbacks when they're out of position. They had him in because of his arm, but he has the ball out in his hand like a loaf of bread or a sandwich, and that's what happens to sandwiches. They get eaten by the other team, as you can see there. The South recovered, but they had ruled it down. Tim McNeil made the big play. The North trying to come up with the big play.
Well, that was pretty close to a fumble from what I saw there.
Look close. The official made a nice call there. He was on top of it.
All right, Johnny Hill has Curtis Cheeks as a slot. Gives it off this time to Williams, and Hill punched forward across the 50 into the 48-yard line of the South, where he's knocked down. But a lot of yardage to go on 4th down, and they'll have to bring on the punter, Gene Nally. Gareth Vaughns made the tackle.
Coach Farnham talking to Coach Tuberville about certain plays maybe for the next drive that the North offense would like to accomplish.
Corey Downs on to punt. Dexter Davis. Oh, what a high kick, and Davis going to let this one hit. And it's going to bounce out of bounds down inside the 1-yard line.
Woo, he punted that ball very well. High spiral, turned it over.
47 yards. You know something? I have said so many times, Roman, I don't see kickers go for the coffin corner much anymore. Did Downs do it there?
He just might have. I wish maybe we'll be able to see that later on, but if we're not, he certainly did the job. He acted like he knew he was going for the coffin corner. Beautiful punt. That's hard to do, though. If you ever watch guys, the punters, I know when I was playing, our guys used to work and try to kick it to the left corner, the right corner. So many of them would be like a shank in golf. Go off to the left side, the foot right side, and they're a little afraid of that when they try that sometimes.
Matt Bunch has come back in at quarterback now for the South. They are backed up inside their 1-yard line. They punch it straight ahead. And that's Brown getting out maybe to the 2-yard line before he is knocked down. And that also ends the third quarter here. The North team has moved out on top 21-7 in this football game after 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter's coming up after this network timeout.
And now, another Carolina Ford #1 year-end clearance update.
More great news. Your Carolina Ford dealers are dealing on America's #1 sellers. Get $400 cash back on America's #1 selling car, Ford Escort, or $600 cash back on America's #1 selling midsize car, Ford Taurus, and specialty car, Ford Thunderbird. Then make no payments until April if you buy any new Ford by December 31st at your Carolina Ford dealer.
See First Restaurants, your first choice for quality dining on the Grand Strand. Drunken Jack's Restaurant in Murrells Inlet is the place for tender and delicious steak and lobster. The Marketplace, also in Murrells Inlet, provides you with catch-of-the-day fresh seafood choices. While the Wayside Restaurant, located in Murrells Inlet, serves some of the most delicious shrimp dinners served anywhere. For the best in quality Grand Strand dining, see us first. We're See First.
21-7, the North leads as we go to the fourth quarter. Right now, we go to Chris William.
Yes, thank you very much. Nancy Humphrey speaking now. Also, around me, I really hate this kind of stuff. The Walterboro High School cheerleading squad obviously pulling for the South. They are pulling for the South. You know Coach Lyles. Coach Lyles comes from this school. Now, girls, I just wanted to have you over here, and then best of luck. Hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend. And yes. Merry Christmas. Jim Roman, back up in the booth.
Well, we send Merry Christmas to them, too. So the South team finds itself in quite a hole right now, Roman, as they are really backed up at the 2-yard line. 2nd and 9 to go. And Matt Bunch, that quarterback, will have Davis and Brown, the I-backs. Bunch, this time riding it off to Brown, who punches straight back up the middle, and he's not going to get much at all. That North defense right now just congesting the middle because they feel as though that's where they're going to have to go.
Down inside their own 5-yard line, there's not a whole lot of room there, trying to go up the pipe, nowhere to go. As you see there, Bobby Brown toting that football, holding on to it, wrapping up, don't want to turn it over. South needs a big play, Jim. Little play action, try to go deep, might as well get out of this hole and do the best you can. Hopefully you can complete one, make the big play, get a score.
All right, Bunch brings them up again. He sends Gadsden to the top of the screen. 3 of 10 on 3rd down conversions for the South in the game. Back to throw in the end zone. Looking downfield. He's going for Gadsden. Little overthrow. Now, that's not Gadsden. I beg your pardon. That was Dukes. Gadsden had done the out, and Dukes run the fly, but he couldn't deliver to him as Chris Brooks was there on coverage.
Pass intended for
two of the biggest mistakes that receivers make when they're running deep and trying to run under a football is, number one, they look back and they keep running while they're looking back, and that slows you down. Of course, the other one is whenever you're running with your hands out. That time, Jesse Dukes ran with his head looking back. The quarterback slowed him up. The pass wasn't that poorly thrown.
So Hyatt on the punt. Brooks and Stevens back as twin receivers. Nice high kick. Stevens grabs it off at the 47, comes to his left and fights his way forward to the 42-yard line, where he is tripped up by Dexter Davis. So the North, leading 21-7, once again has outstanding field position here in this football game. A 44-yard punt, a 5-yard return by Stevens. And I think right now that there is confidence building down on that north sideline. This telecast is presented by authority of the North-South Game Committee, incorporated for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the prior written consent of the North-South Game Committee is prohibited. Announcers for this game were selected and approved by the North-South Committee. Here's Hill, keeping, turning back up and losing a yard or two on the play as Tim McNeil from Bennettsville was able to get to him and haul him down. Play just never did get developed.
Hill was trying to find his running back as he came out from under center, but Kevin Acker had run off to the right side, and with only one back there, that leaves no one. Hill got stuck. He had to carry the football. That's another mistake by the North team.
Well, once again, checking in is Mitch Nicholson, and he'll go to the top of the screen as a wideout. Johnny Hill with Kevin Acker as the lone setback. Good look at Hill as he moves up under center. Drops to throw. He is now going to run with it and throw on the run. It is incomplete. Probably would have been better off just keep the football that time.
I haven't seen too many guys in that position. The quarterback run left, start up field, and then trying to cock the hips and throw it back into the middle. Not even John Elway, I don't believe, could do that.
Just the way you described it makes my sacroiliac begin to ache.
But the young man is trying to do the very best he can to help his team. And my hat's off to this North coaching staff. They've done an outstanding job. As you see here, we've got that's Stacy Robinson, the outside receiver, has possibly a little bruised shoulder, maybe a
dislocation.
Hopefully not much. Hopefully not much at all.
Well, the North squad now going to discuss it. Third down and 11, and they have asked for a timeout here. We're in the fourth quarter with 12:48 remaining, and the North is on top by a score of 21-7 in this game. We pause for these words from your local North-South station.
If you, your spouse, or parents are 45 to 74, I'm going to ask you to make an important phone call. But first, let me introduce you to a very special couple, Peg and Hank Walker. Recently, they enrolled in the Security Life Plan from National Benefit Life. Here's why.
My husband, Hank, has worked hard all his life to prepare for our retirement. Lately, we've been worried about what could happen to our savings if one of us were to die. We felt that we needed to get more life insurance, but because Hank is 68 and already has had a heart attack, we didn't think we could get it.
That's why we enrolled in Security Life. They said no one 45 to 74 could be turned down, and that it would only cost $3.95 a month.
We're really pleased with the Security Life Plan. We're not worried anymore about losing our life savings or becoming a burden on our children if one of us should die.
Take it from the Walkers. For as little as $3.95 a month, this is the life insurance plan everyone 45 to 74 should have. And what's more, you get as much as $40,000 of initial protection, depending on your age and sex. Just think, big dollar benefits, low monthly premiums, and guaranteed acceptance. What could be better? Even if you have other life insurance plans, I urge you to call for this one. And when you do, you'll receive this free information package in the mail, telling you all about Security Life. Don't take chances with your family security. Call now.
To receive your free information package, call toll-free 1-800-321-9000. You'll also receive information about the Family Will Kit. It's free and tells you how to save time and money preparing for your own last will and testament. So call now, 1-800-321-9000. That number again is 1-800-321-9000.
12:48 remains to be played in this football game, and as you can see, the North squad has moved out on top of the South by a score of 21-7. The South scored the first touchdown of the game back in the first quarter, and the North came back to tie it in quarter number 2. But here in the second half, that North team has really dug in and started to dominate.
Sort of surprising with the North having the players that they had lost early in the game and during the week. Almost felt as though the North might not be able to outlast the South, but it's just the opposite. The North seems to have a little more tenacity right now in this ball game.
Something called pride, too. Gardner and Stevens go to the top of the screen. And Hill drops to throw. Looking, firing deep over the middle, and a flag goes down as the catch is made down here inside the 30-yard line. And getting up out of the bottom of that stack with the football is Derek Van Noort. Take a look at this.
Hill's going to drop back. He's looking all over the field. A little rush there. Pressure, steps up in the pocket. Gets banged. Derek Van Noort, his big tight end, made an outstanding grab as he came across the middle from left to right and jumped in front of the linebacker, number 66, Gareth Bonds, to make the grab.
Gain of 15 on the play. But now Mike Turner, the referee, discussing it with Johnny Hill. The penalty obviously is one that is levied against the South team here.
I believe it was pass interference by the linebacker, Gareth Bonds, on the play, but they picked up the first down anyway.
Interference, South declined by the North. First down, 10.
So it will be a first down at the 28-yard line of the South team. And if the South can't hold them here, then they're in big trouble.
It's Katie Barr the something.
Acker and Williams line up in the eye. Johnny Hill pitches back to Williams. Williams finds running room, finds a good crease over the left side, and fights his way into the 23-yard line, where he is knocked down by Henry Graham. He finds that hole.
He certainly does. Anthony Jones, or Anthony Williams, is from the left side on the pitch back. Almost lost the ball as he tried to come off the left side of his offensive line.
So mark it at the 23-yard line. Second down, 5. Acker is the setback, and Williams comes to the lower portion of the screen now as a wideout. Again, Hill to throw. Looking on an out pattern, and a good defensive play across the way as the pass is batted away. Tom Rhodes, once again, was there to back that one down.
Pass was intended.
Now, out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw Williams wide open down the left side. I don't know as I did or not there.
Curtis Cheeks was the fellow that ran the out pattern, and as Johnny Hill released the football, they released Williams upfield deep.
Saw those scores by quarters. South got 7 in the first. North picked up 7 in the second and added 14 in the third. They are 6 of 10 on third down conversions, and they are 3rd and 4 right now. Back to Williams. Williams fighting forward. Did he get it? Going to depend on where they get the spot of the football. It's going to be mighty close to a first down here as Graham once again came across to make the defensive play.
Tim McNeil, 75, comes through, dives, tries to make the play, but Anthony Williams wanted it a little bit more for the North. As you mentioned, depends on where they marked it.
They'll bring the sticks in to check and see whether or not. Anthony Williams, 15 carries now, 145 yards and a touchdown. Rushing, he also has one on a pass reception. They stretch it out, and they have got, a millimeter or two.
About a shoestring. I believe they're going to go for it, and why not?
Why not? It's inside the 20.
Quarterback sneak should get it the way that offensive line's working.
They bring on, there's Joe Tuberville along the sidelines. He's sent the play in with his wide receiver, Brian Stevens.
Jim, one year we were playing the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland in a preseason game. Fourth and about a shoestring like this. Went to play action, threw one down the left side to Harold Carmichael. Ball hit him on the fingertips, missed the ball, came off the sideline, and Coach McCormick said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "It's only a preseason game. Why not go for it? Take a chance in life."
Patton's in at fullback. Hill going to keep, and he'll get the first down as he goes over left guard. So he goes behind Giola to get the first down yardage. And the North continues its drive now as they are in at the 18-yard line of the South squad, and that's a somewhat sober South staff over there across the way right now.
I see that 62, Kevin Morgan, or is that 52? It's hard to tell there. I think that's...
He'll run the quick post back over here. It's there. Give you a chance. If he catch it, don't score, come back and run the same thing. Oh, he dropped it. No, he didn't drop.
Stevens and Garner, the wideout. Stevens at the top of the screen. Hill has them in the eye. Drops back to throw. There's that post. And a little underthrown, intended for Stevens. You heard Joe Tuberville talking about the post pattern along the sidelines, and he was open. He just underthrew.
Sure was, to the wide side, out of the single back. They're not getting a whole lot of help over there, and Coach Tuberville was seeing if the linebacker had dropped back to getting away the pass. He said, no, he hasn't, and really, sure was there. Ball was just thrown too low.
Hill has completed 3 of 9 for 81 yards and a touchdown. He's had 1 intercepted this afternoon. And he brings them out once again. There's a good look at where it's all made. This time, they work to the left side, and with the football is Acker. That's inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, and knocked down there, and here's a look at it.
Oh, it's an inside handoff to the fullback. He picks his hole, comes off the left side, and 62, Kevin Morgan, who has his cast, or has his ankle in an air cast, is playing left tackle. Not 100%, but he wanted to see some action in the ball game, so he could tell everybody, at least I got the play.
There's a look at Acker's statistics in the afternoon. 13 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown. Look as though his feet went out from under him when he tried to cut that time. North, third down conversion, 6 of 11. They face 3rd and 7 here. Hill has Acker and Williams in the eye. Rolling to his right. Has time to throw. Goes over the middle. It's intercepted. Dexter Davis picks it off down at the 1-yard line. The intended receiver was Gardner, but Davis, playing off the ball, made a fine defensive play.
We got a penalty, too, a flag sprinting out to the right side. Hill waits too long to deliver the football, allows Dexter Davis to read the eyes. Some guys look like athletes and are, and this guy, Dexter Davis, number 42, not only looks like one, he is.
But unfortunately, the penalty is apparently going against the South squad, which will negate Dexter Davis' 3rd intercept of the afternoon. We'll get the call here shortly from Mike Turner, the referee in this game. The penalty is marched down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, automatic first down.
That's the first penalty of the second half.
Bag down.
But roughing the passer was the call.
Amen.
Roughing the passer.
Huh?
It's south indication.
So Hill in the north. With Acker and Williams lined up in the eye. And Acker gets the call straight ahead, bounces off one tackler, and is not going to get much. That's Gareth Bonds, 6'1", 205-pounder, who stayed in there with good, strong leg action.
Man-to-man blocking up front, hands off to the fullback. One of their favorite plays today to try to hold that middle so they can get outside when they try. But Gareth Bonds holds on, wasn't going to let go, and makes a nice play.
So the football remains at the 8-yard line.
They need to get Kevin Morgan out of the game. 62 is trying to play on that ankle, and he's going to get hurt even more.
Stevens is slotted on the left side in the lower portion of the screen. Quick little toss over the middle, incomplete, intended for Stevens, and flags down all over the place. We may have another pass interference.
They're probably going to call this on Dexter Davis, 42, but I don't believe it should be. Dexter Davis established position as Derek Van Noort, the tight end, came across. Here's Kevin Morgan coming out of the game, Jim. He's hoppling. Little dump pass, make the fullback, try to hold the linebackers, dumps the ball up in the air, and you saw the contact. But
Pass interference, defense, first down.
I really don't like that call.
It really looked to me as though the offensive player ran into him.
I agree. I thought Dexter Davis had established position.
So it's at the 4-yard line, 1st and goal. There's your penalties on the afternoon. The North penalized 3 times for 25 yards. The South 4 penalties. Patton is in now. along with Williams, the I-backs, and Stevens at the lower portion of your screen, the wide out. And they go to Williams, and oh, what control that time as he was stumbling forward. I think they'll rule his knee touchdown just before he got in, though.
Williams, the ball carrier.
Excellent balance shown by Williams here.
Needs it because Reggie Austin had no one blocking him. He came off the corner there, got up underneath the ankles, and Anthony Williams kept his feet and almost scored.
And a good call. You did see the knee go down on that replay. 2nd and goal. Inches away from the goal line. Williams has rushed now for 148 yards on 16 carries, a reception of 41 yards, 2 TDs, one by rushing, one by the reception. And now movement over there. I don't know whether contact was made by the defense first or whether they were drawn offside.
South defense moved a little too early.
Quinn Wright, 45.
Offside, yes. So that's half the distance, and they had to move it about an inch.
I got dead ball, encroachment, defense, 2nd down.
71 Bobby Presley to the lower part of your screen, right there.
Yep, there he is.
He jumps and he goes down and he knows he made a mistake.
It's a good job there by our crew. Patton and Williams, the I-backs. Williams gets the call. Who else? He's in. Another touchdown for him this afternoon, his 3rd. And suddenly, the North has busted it wide open here in the second half of play as we get a look once more at Williams scoring.
Toss back to the number 1 guy for him, Anthony Williams. He barrels his way into the end zone. I was going to say into the locker room, but the game's not over yet.
Well, he just used his blocker as a cushion, bounced right off of him for the score.
Sure did. What a game this young man has had.
So on again comes Ryan Kurtz to attempt the point after. And his kick is true once again. So the North dominating here in the second half of play as they have put up 20 points and have now taken a lead, 21 points. It's 28-7. We are going to have more football action coming your way shortly. We'll return right after this network timeout.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Santa, can you bring me a zebra? I wish I could have a pony. I would like to fly. I wish that I could be a star in the sky. For everybody to be nice and be friends and never fight each other.
Season's greetings from your local bottler of Coca-Cola.
Okay, everybody, dinner break.
Warm up all your holiday activities with something new. McDonald's Holiday Chicken McNuggets. In festive 9 and 20-piece packs. Tasty chunks of chicken and 2 new sauces. Tangy cranberry with a twist of orange and sweet apple spiced with cinnamon. Better chime in before holiday McNuggets are gone.
8:09 remains, 28-7, the North on top. That last scoring drive, 12 plays, 42 yards. It took 5 minutes, 41 seconds off the clock. Let's go down to Chris.
Thank you very much. What I did is I went up in the stands and grabbed one of the players' parents. It is Tony Pearson's parents. And Janice and Roy from Duncan. He plays at Burns. James F. Burns, a very good school. Now let me ask you, how do you feel about your son playing in the North-South game?
Well, I'm just real proud. I'm pleased. It just tickles me to death because he struggled so hard. He was so small when he was little, and he just got big all of a sudden.
Big guy.
Yeah.
230 pounds and 6'1".
Right.
He's the center.
Right.
Are you crossing your fingers just hoping he's not getting hit too hard?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm praying.
Roy, how do you feel about your boy being in the game?
I'm proud of him.
Yeah?
Glad he's in there.
Glad to be in here. Glad to be up in Myrtle Beach for the game?
Yes.
Good. Have a very good Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim and...
Well, those fans are just 2 of the 7,380 who are on hand here this afternoon. Another outstanding turnout in this game's second appearance at Myrtle Beach, Roman.
And did Chris say that the Pearson family said their boy was small?
Yeah.
He bench presses 300 pounds, squats 405, and military presses 245. That's when you stand on 2 feet, don't move your knees or legs, and take that much weight, just jack it up over your head. Seems like a pretty big man to me.
The kick gets by Davis and is going to roll. Well, it got into the end zone, apparently. Boy, that was awfully close to dying an inch or two away from the goal line.
The South needs all the help they can get right now, and I'm sure that they're going to try to come back. They're not here to let the North run over them.
X in, Z out, Y post.
Uh-oh. Did you hear that one?
I heard that. X, N, Z out,
somebody
Y
in.
post.
That means to
you
split
go in
in.
and get Carlos out and tell Jesse to go to the tight end, okay?
Are you off the line?
No, you be the split in. You be the split in, all right?
All right, Ronald York brings his team out as Dukes and Martin to the lower portion of the screen. They're in the eye, and he's back to throw. That is Bunch, I beg your pardon, quarterbacking. Incomplete. Intended that time for Martin on an out pattern. They want to run that sideline pattern, try to get the clock stopped if they make a reception here.
That time, the quarterback, Bunch, had his tight end or his outside receiver coming underneath.
So they are faced with 2nd down and 10 now from the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
So once again, Bunch brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Jones to the lower portion of the screen. And again, Bunch back to throw. Quick little hitch pattern to Davis up that left side, and he is wrestled out of bounds up around the 33, a 13-yard pickup, 12 to 13 yards on the play.
Tim gives you an idea. Gives you an idea of Dexter Davis's versatility, starting safety for the South. He's now in there replacing Stacy Robinson, who was hurt. Watch Davis move around here. Young man's going to be a fantastic college athlete. That's the key, that kind of feet that he has. He has good ability.
So it is 1st and 10 up at the 33-yard line.
X flat tailback trail, 19.
There's no subtlety here. Giles Hall was just shouting that play out there.
I like it. The coach, he's got it going for him. He's trying everything he can, and well, so what? They don't know what that means.
Wing T, Martin the wing to the lower portion of the screen. Bunch back to throw. Throws behind his intended receiver. That was Leggett coming out of the backfield.
Pro right, there's massive fullback, massive fullback. Massive. Pro right, 33 lead draw. Hurry up, pro right.
Well, you heard the play.
33 lead draw.
All right, Jim, that means the fullback's going to carry it on the draw. They're going to try to make it look like pass. Quarterback will drop back, hand it to the fullback, probably be Massey.
All right, set to go. Bunch. And does, gives to Massey. Pops straight ahead and gets a couple as he moves to the 35, but Alan Edwards, the middle guard, not fooled on the play as he stepped up in there and made the tackle.
That guy, Alan Edwards, is a pretty tough customer.
Indeed he is. Let's look at this.
Nose guard, 240 pounds, built low to the ground. Wraparound draw to Tony Massey. That's what 33 lead draw is for the South. And Alan Edwards not only is a good football player, but he's also a shot putter. Puts it out there about 50 feet.
All right, Dexter Davis has gone to the top of the screen again as a wideout. Bunch on 3rd down and 8. They have to throw on this down. Rolling to his left, looking, firing. It is incomplete, intended for Davis, up around the 49-yard line. But again, pointing out the athletic ability of Dexter Davis. Did you see him keep those feet in bounds, even though he didn't get the football?
There he is, Jim, on the isolation. He's going to run an out pattern. Ball's too late. Dexter's there. He's going to keep both feet in. Watch Dexter now as he goes down. Ball's tipped. Push up, jump up. Let's go. A little push-up action.
Boy, that looks like me 30 years ago. I used to do those push-ups.
It looks like you now. Looks like that Clemson guy that does all those push-ups.
Have an injured player for the North squad. That's Jamison Temples out of Chapin. Defensive tackle. Being attended to across the way, and they appear to be looking at that left arm or shoulder. Wish to give special thanks to all the North-South sponsors. Senior sponsor Quincy's at the beach, and to a lot of other folks who have really helped to bring this game about. And we certainly hope that you'll go out and support these very fine sponsors who have helped to support this North-South game here at Myrtle Beach. Outstanding people who have done an outstanding job and made this an outstanding event. The crowd of 7,380, a little below last year's attendance, but still an outstanding crowd here today.
And when Jamison Temple grows up, he's going to be a big one. He's 6'5", 236. One day he'll probably be up to around 260, 270.
They high it on to punt. This one is going to hit and bound high in the air at the 45 or 35 and rolls inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A punt that covers 36 yards by Hyatt. And so the North squad will now take over the football at their 30-yard line with the clock down to 6:50 remaining in this game, and the North in an awfully good position as they lead it 28-7 over the South, and it looks as though their string of victories is going to continue here this afternoon. Johnny Hill checking in. Brings his team out now. Here's total offense on the afternoon. The North with 358 yards, the South with 201. So everything adds up, score and offense. There's a flag down as Hill's pass goes incomplete.
Austin on the coverage.
We may get another roughing of the passer here.
We also had a blitz by the South team, 66.
Perhaps that's it.
Yeah, Garth Bonds came in from his inside backer, and that's a no-no in the ball game. The inside backers aren't able to come.
A little earlier, it was Giles Halls over there saying, hey, you're not allowed to do that. So you figure, well, they tried it, we'll try it. Stephen Gioli, the left guard, coming off the field now.
I got procedure.
Limping
here,
a bit.
First down.
Well, it's a procedure call. After all of that speculation, we weren't anywhere near being on the mark.
But they missed him, though. He was there. Gareth Bonds was in the backfield.
Against South.
So the football at the 34-yard line.
Violation on the linebacker.
Yep. That's the illegal procedure.
You going to air it out again this time? Coming my way?
All right, Gardner will be a wide out left. Acker sets in there as the lone running back. Hill dropping to throw. Good rush on him. Lofts that little quick pass, and it is batted around out there off the hands of Acker and falling incomplete.
He's lucky he got rid of the ball. Trying to set up a screen pass to the right side. Hill's going to drop back here, and a lot of pressure from Presley, number 71. Ball drops in there, but a little high, not able to go anywhere, even if the running back was able to catch that one.
It's kind of dangerous. That little dump pass kind of lofted up there.
That one could have bounced up into the hands of the South and might have got him back in the game.
So it'll be 2nd down and 5 now. North with the football as Curtis Cheeks comes out to the lower portion of the screen, and they slot on the left side as well. Hill looking back to his left and firing now. Wide open out there is Williams, and he makes the grab in at the 48-yard line. Dexter Davis, though, who we watched make a couple of fine catches a while ago, shows how he can hit.
And what you're seeing here is two of the most valuable players in this game. Dexter Davis, 42, Anthony Williams, number 30. It's amazing he hung on to the football. Little drop pass about 15 yards down the field out of the slot, and you see Anthony Williams. Oh, my goodness, got the shoulder in there. That's what the coaches like, though. When he catches the ball, knock him down.
And he did.
Yeah, but
Stevens at the top of the screen. Hill now bringing Gadsden out as a slot. Back to throw. That one's deflected at the line of scrimmage as he tried to go quickly to Van Nort. Tim McNeil
right 60.
is the man who batted that pass away. So it is 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. North with the football at the 49-yard line of the South. Hill now, 4 completions in 12 attempts, 99 yards, a TD, and an intercept. So he sets his team now on 2nd and 10. Hill on a draw, rides it straight ahead, and that is Acker punching his way into about the 46, no more. That's not Acker. In fact, that is Patton who had the football. Here's a look at it.
Pull back up the middle. Patton takes the ball. Bobby Presley, 71, an outstanding defensive player today on that line for the South. No quit in Bobby Presley, no quit in either one of these teams. They came here to have fun, and they're doing that. And they have to take their hats off to the coaches of both staffs, the North team, Joe Tuberville, the head guy, Al Curtis Gaffney, Dave Farnham, Carolina High School, Mike Anthony, Southside. These guys on the North coaching staff spent a lot of time with me, getting me prepared to do this game.
Nicholson, a wide out right. Over the middle they go, and the catch is made down at the 31-yard line, and that is Scott Gardner.
Scott Gardner, complete.
14-yard pickup on the play. It's good for a first down, and here's how it looks.
Square in pattern from the left side. John Hill drops back, takes a couple of steps to his left side. Very nice catch, going down for the football. That's not an easy one to grab. Sometimes you take the eye off when you have to go to the ground. But Scott Gardner, who had 41 receptions during the year, does a nice job.
Again, Nicholson is in. That's him going to the top of the screen now. They'll slot on the left side. Patton sets in as the lone running back behind his quarterback, Hill. At the 32-yard line of the South, first down and 10, and Hill wants to throw. Lofts one for Nicholson, and he makes the catch at the 10. He's down inside the 5 to the 3. And I'll be curious if we see a replay. I thought Nicholson pushed off to get the ball.
He had the left hand out, and Tom Rhodes, the cornerback, number 50, lost the football, never got the head turned around. Hill's going downhill. The Mitchell Nicholson, another quarterback, makes a nice grab. The arm looked like it was there.
Yep.
Official didn't quite see that one.
Well, it's a 29-yard pickup, and the North is threatening once again. They were at the 3-yard line of the South. And only 3:28 remaining in this football game here this afternoon. The North has dominated the second half of play. Acker sets in behind Hill. They slot on the left side with Williams now. And they give it straight up the middle to Acker. Punches his way for a couple in near the 1-yard line and is knocked down there.
Acker, stopped by Graham.
So the South squad battled valiantly to a 7-7 halftime lead here this afternoon, but the North has come out and they've taken control of the football game. And I think you best stated it a while ago, Roman, when you pointed out it looked at times as if the South was in slow motion this half.
Maybe the way that they worked and as hard as they did this week they were here possibly could have caught up to them. Might be a little tired from the hitting on Monday and Tuesday, but then again, still should be able to play a good game.
Hill throwing. It is knocked down, intended for Williams. And over defensively, Dexter Davis, who else? Batting it away. So it'll be third down. Here's a look.
Sprinting out left side. Hill really shouldn't have thrown this ball. If he did, it should have been up higher. He might have had a shot to get it because Dexter Davis might have had him a 98-yard touchdown. He hauled that one in, Jim.
Or a little alley-oop might have given the North another score. Just laid it up over him.
That's right. Ball was a little bit too low. Should have been just a tad higher.
Third and goal. Acker and Williams line up in the eye. Stevens goes to the top of the screen as a wideout. It's Acker who punches his way in for the score. And the North has put another 6 on the board. And they are running away with this football game here this afternoon, this 40th annual North-South High School All-Star Game being played for a second consecutive year at Myrtle Beach. Acker now with 16 rushes, 44 yards, and he's chalked up his first TD of the afternoon.
Ryan Kurtz will attempt the point after.
So Kurtz will come on again to try and tack on another extra point. Overall talent just beginning to tell in this football game. Kurtz's kick is good. So 2:25 remains, and the South has really come to the fore here in the second half. Let's look at that touchdown once again.
Gives you an idea what you were talking about, overall talent, and the fact that the North seems to know how to win and expects to win, whereas the South wants to win but not being able to get it done.
35-7, the North squad on top in this football game. We're going to be back for the conclusion of today's game after these messages from your local North-South stations.
There's no question that these windows will make your home beautiful. But the cost, that's the question. Sam, what about the cost of replacement windows?
Joanna, the price of our windows depends on a number of things, including size, style, and the various options you select. To figure a price, we must first know the exact size of each window, and you'll have to make some decisions about options. But you ask about the cost, and that's something else. What is the final cost when you maintain your home and protect its value? What is it costing you now to have old windows that lower the value of your home? And what about fuel costs?
You know about fuel costs with our windows. This fuel savings pledge guarantees you will use less fuel to heat your home in the very first year.
What does it cost to maintain your present windows? They should be painted and puttied every few years. Maybe you need to replace cords, locks, or handles. Maybe your walls are stained by moisture from your old windows.
And how about security? Are your old windows easily open from the outside? Well, these windows are designed to discourage burglars. Can you imagine a burglar that's dumb enough to wake up the whole neighborhood by trying to break through 3 panes of glass?
We'd rather explain the price of a quality product than to spend years explaining problems. What will it cost for replacement windows on your home? What will it cost to do nothing about your old windows? With a high price of fuel, you may end up paying for new windows whether you have them or not.
But remember, no other window offers all these features. So look for the name ASI, and if it doesn't say ASI, it's not an ASI window. Call today, homeowners. It will all come by mail. There's no cost or obligation, and even the call is free. Just dial the free 800 number right now.
Our operators are standing by to take your call. We'll mail your copy of this free brochure along with a certificate for our TV special. Call now.
1-800-323-2121.
The scoreboard tells the story. The North is on top 35-7. That last drive, 9 plays, 71 yards, 4:27 to complete it. And again, Chris has really gotten himself in a fix. He's down there with all those good-looking ladies.
It's been tough. It's the second year in Myrtle Beach for the North-South game. The first year that these girls have been down here. These girls are the Manning cheerleaders. Yeah, and obviously full of spirit. I believe, Santa?
I believe these girls have a Christmas cheer for us, don't you?
Yes!
Ladies.
Go South, go! Go South, go! Go South, go! Go South, go! Merry Christmas! Ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Here we go, the Manning cheerleaders. Back upstairs, Jim and Roman.
Kurt's ready to kick off. Davis back to receive for the South squad. High boot. And it's going to be grabbed off by Jones. He comes up over the 5 to the 10. Fights his way up the 18. Fumbles the ball. A scramble for it. And let's see. The North has recovered.
Looks like North football.
Jones coughing up the football. And Neil Miller falls on it. Let's look at it again.
Jones hauls it in about the 1-yard line, starts up the middle, trying to get behind the wedge, but the North team was there before he could. There's the tackle.
Helmet right on the ball.
That's the quarterback, Mitchell Nicholson, making that tackle, and the fumble comes out, and the North has it again. Wonder if they're going to sit on the ball and try to run out the clock or still try to score and put it up.
I'll let you speculate on that. I'm not going to touch that.
Well, before we do, have you got something?
No, go ahead.
Well, I got to thank the South coaches because I know they work just as hard as the North team coaches. Giles Hall, Walter Burrow, Arlo Hill, Wade Hampton, Marty Woolbright, and Gilbert, who was the 1970 MVP in this game, and Charlie Coombs. These guys gave us a lot of information, and we certainly appreciate the coaches from both teams being very cordial to us, Jim.
And Marty, back in, 1970, was the MVP in this game and the Shrine game, all in the same year.
Was drafted by the New York Giants in 1974.
Johnny Hill. Look at the throw. They're not sitting on it. And throws. Touchdown. Boy, oh boy. What a catch down there that time by Curtis Cheeks as he kept the feet in bounds. A 13-yard touchdown grab.
There's a play-action fake out of the single back. The ball's thrown well, and this is tremendous ability to catch the football, keep the feet in bounds while you're laying out. And I'm sure the North coach is not concerned because even though he's running up the score, he won't be back next year. The South coach wishes he could be back because he don't like this.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not indeed. So Kurtz is on again. Boy, that didn't take much time off the clock, did it?
No.
There's his kick to the point after. And that is true. And now look at it. 42-7. The North totally dominating the second half.
42-7 North.
Hill now has completed 7 of 16 for 155 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He's had 1 intercepted in this game. And many of the fans making their ways to the exits now. And another look at that play now.
Making the draw, trying to hold the backers. Near the end of the game here, they're already up by a pretty good margin. Throws the ball over here on the left sideline. That's a beautiful catch, keeping those feet in bounds, concentrating on the ball, not worrying that if you fall down and get your uniform dirty, you can also get it clean before the season starts next year.
Well, they talk about bragging rights in this state. Looks as though the North is going to brag for another year.
And I'm sure that the North coaching staff is thinking, we won't have to be down in the South area much this year.
Kurtz approaching the football. His kickoff. Dexter Davis waits for it at the 8. Straight up the middle. Comes up to the 25, and the ball pops loose once again as he was really nailed as he came up to the 25-yard line. But this time, I think the South calls on it. Neil Miller really hit him. There's Dexter Davis, the Holiday Inn Defensive Player of the Game today. 2 interceptions, and he's just been an outstanding athlete on both sides of the football throughout the course of this afternoon. Dexter Davis out of Sumter, South Carolina. So the South with the football at their 23-yard line. And this is York. Back to throw. Quick out pattern. That is completed up the sidelines to Billy Martin. Around the 29-yard line. Clock has ticked under a minute. Just 50 seconds remaining in this football game.
Billy Martin catches Ronald York's pass.
There is the Holiday Inn Offensive Player of the Game, Anthony Williams. 2 touchdowns this afternoon. And quite an afternoon he had running with the football out of Greer, South Carolina. 17 rushes, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, 59 yards, and a TD. Great, great day. And congratulations to our Holiday Inn players of the game. York again back to throw. This one is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jones.
York's pass to Jones incomplete.
Stops the clock with 16 seconds now remaining in the game.
Tell him 18 X fly to Jesse, okay? Throw right.
Well, they're going to run a fly pattern here to Jesse Dukes now.
I like that name, Jesse Dukes.
That is. That's got a ring to it, hasn't it?
What was the name of that series?
The Dukes of Hazzard?
The Dukes of... There wasn't Jesse Dukes.
I think you're right.
I wonder if that's his son.
You watch the same TV I do.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
knew we
on.
had something in common.
It's not on anymore.
York again will throw. Being chased around, spins out of there. Now will run with it and fights his way up across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Clock is going to run down here, though. Just 3 seconds left of this football game. Joe Tuberville and his staff, the winning North team, headed across to receive the handshakes of that South coaching staff. As the North really came out and did a job here in the second half of play this afternoon after having a football game that was tied at 7-7. They just came out and totally dominated in the second half, and they did it by virtue of just going in with great intensity and having a good time in doing it, I think, too. So we have had a great time, and it's been a real pleasure to be here at Myrtle Beach again this afternoon. For a second consecutive year, this football game has attracted a large crowd, and the fans will go away satisfied in knowing that everything was done with class. And certainly, we can all appreciate class. So, that final score, The North 42, the South 7. And we have been happy to bring it to you. Jim Phillips for Roman Gabriel and Chris Williams. This has been an Encore video production.